like a, a wife beater with no facts. All he
Well,
got is
that's
a
his opinion.
all he got is one arrest record
Right. Oh, God.
with no detail, no facts.
Okay. I don't think Morbid's ever been arrested, actually. He has speeding tickets. Are you talking about that one that the tattoo guy
Talking
showed?
about no, I'm talking about my record,
Oh,
Starlight.
you're okay. Well, I just want to put it out there for the
No,
idiots.
I was talking
Okay,
about my
because that
own.
is
No, I'm
not
not.
him.
I don't care about nobody's arrest record.
Okay, you're talking about yours. All right, you have
Yeah,
the charge that you have. People are
correct.
gonna come at you about it.
Right, right.
So I don't know. But are you going to go and like dox people because of it?
No, I didn't. I mean,
Exactly.
no.
Exactly. But other people on here are now doxing people over words on the internet.
Yeah. My problem is, Starlight, and this is happening to me right now. Active is active. I am all over the YT, all over TikTok, being said that I threatened to shoot um, pew pew somebody.
I know. I
It's
know.
all over the YT. It's all over TikTok.
I know.
And I
I
mean,
know I don't
it's,
think that's what you meant.
well, thank you. Because it's
I don't.
like,
And I
I,
get what you were saying. You were saying
I'm,
that,
I'm not going to lie. I misspoke. Like, I shouldn't have said it at all. Okay. I shouldn't have said the words. And that's what I
no,
apologized
you
for that
shouldn't
night.
have because now look, look what happened.
So I apologize that night for saying the word. I said, I apologize for saying anything about a pew pew. She
Yeah.
took that, she took that clip, and now she's using it as her defense that I apologize for threatening her. I did not apologize for threatening her. I apologize for saying anything about a pew pew
Right.
because she is correct. Gypsy cannot be around pew pews. If I would have went to Gypsy's house, I wouldn't have been able to bring my pew pew. And here's something she got a lot wrong, and my wife told me leave it alone. Not like don't even correct her on her information. Let her think what she wants. That way she don't. She obviously don't really know who I am because she got a lot of information wrong on who I am to the situation. Like I have never so physically in person. I have never met Gypsy. Gypsy does not have my phone number. Like she didn't call me. I heard
Right.
about it.
Yeah.
I heard about it on that live that either later that night or the next day after it happened. You heard my raw reaction,
Right. I know.
and that
I know that
that was
I know. I feel like people are entitled to their own feelings. Like the way I feel is not the way other people feel. I know what you meant. I'm from
but
the
like
South. I get it.
but like Bree is correct on this Starlight. She was
What?
attacked for months before she ever reacted to one thing.
Oh, that's not true. That is not true. What do you mean? Wait,
Like
hold on.
I'm talking about at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
She was attacked for months before she started to react.
By who?
By I don't even know who she was attacked by first.
Because she wasn't. I remember this is, Brie likes to say I doxed her. I never doxed her. What happened was look, I've been when Gypsy, I followed Gypsy's case back in the day. When she was being
Yeah,
released from
you
prison.
was with Natasha at one time,
No,
correct?
no, no. Now that woman, I swear, cannot tell the truth to save her freaking life. Never knew Natasha even was associated with Gypsy's case until Gypsy was released. Well, until I fell out with her, I think, which was around the time Gypsy was being released from prison. Um, Anyways, but I no, I followed it on my own. Uh, and no, Natasha and I were never friends. We were we associated. I don't know what you call it. We were cool with each other for a while, and the Gannon Stout stuff, and she just started acting really disgusting on YouTube. That's when I parted ways, tried to back away quietly from her. I'm saying this because I heard her say it last night. I just want to set the record straight. There's a live on my YouTube channel called Tick Turtles and Discord Moles or something. Somebody went and told her that I said something about her in my Discord back then, and I absolutely said it, and I stand on what I said in that Discord, Natasha. So quit twisting the story up because I got the whole thing. All right, anyways, back to what I was saying. The reason that I even knew who Bree was she showed up on my For You page because of Gypsy, and the name of her TikTok page was her name. So I had met Fancy by that time, and I asked Fancy, "Who's this?" Because she was talking about Fancy. This is back in When was she released? December, the end of December. This is probably early January, something like that. And I just asked Fancy who she was, and not like who she was in her real life. Anyhow, it's the other way around, Rogie. Bree came out of the gate attacking people. And when people respond, she loses it. Or if people critique anything, when you are out here defending a murderer, you are putting a target on your back. That would be like me out here trying to defend Jodi Arias, okay? Or something. You think people wouldn't come for me over that? There are people who argue over Darlie Routier for years have argued over whether Darlie is innocent or guilty, and they attack each other. But you're
Yeah,
taking it too far when words on the internet or disagreements or me going over your content that is public, people get doxxed over it.
like the define docs for me. Like what kind of doxing is
Putting out
happening? Like
people's
people's personal address or like
No,
just
Rogie,
pictures and
no.
names?
Names in particular. Nobody needs to know my real name. Nobody needs to know this person's real name and this person's real name using their photos. It's just, maybe we should just start doing it back. Like all this stuff, I get that they don't like.
It's happening on both sides,
Where? Show
Starlight.
me where. Where?
It's happening on both
Where is
sides.
the dank Harley Quinn putting up photos of them? Where's that happening?
Some of her mods, I think like Ryder
No,
maybe
I said,
took a
where is the dank Harley Quinn putting up photos of people?
some creators, mods do it. You are attached to your mods.
No, you're not. 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 No. Every single one of them sit up there and do it. So that makes it even worse. So not only is the person hosting the live doing it, but everyone else on the panel is up there doing it. So is that what needs to happen? Is like we need to just start fighting fire with fire and do it back? Because Bree sure didn't like it when I showed that fat picture of her, did she? But she wants to hand around people photos of me and then associate with people who edit photos of me to give to people. And I'm looking at you, Jeanette
I've
and
never seen
Dreamer over here asking
I've never
people.
I've never seen a picture of you, Starlight.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay.
you showed a picture of yourself one day, and that's how I saw you.
Okay. Sure.
Like what? I'm being honest with you.
You might not realize it or that it's me or something. I don't know. And you're not always on the panel, so Bree doesn't like her lives being shared. Well, then don't go live on a public platform if you don't want people to look at your stuff. Stupid. Wouldn't you agree, Rogie? Rogie, if you went live and I wanted to talk about your live, would you get your fifis hurt?
If you want, say that again.
If you went live on TikTok and I went on my channel to watch it, would that bother you?
I mean, I'm not going to talk about anything that anybody can't see.
Thank you,
And if you want to stream
conspiracy.
my live and give me followers, go ahead.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's the big deal? I don't know. Where I come from on the internet, that's what we do, is we would critique each other's live streams. So, and anytime I do that to Bree, and I've even been really nice about it. Okay, I haven't put her in my thumbnail. Blah blah blah. I just wanted to show her reaction to Becca Scoops' new video. Which, by the way, what did you think about her new video, Roki? Did you like that?
Which which one?
The one with the Menendez brothers. This isn't just about me, though. I see he's paused. He might have got a phone call or something. I don't know.
I did get a phone call.
Yeah.
What video about the Menendez brothers when she got questioned in the airport?
No, never mind. I was talking about Becca Scoops.
Oh no, I have not. I watched most of Becca's videos, but I have not watched that one yet.
It's pretty good. You should watch that one.
I may watch it. I've been down a rabbit hole of I'm watching the seventh episode of Crime Weekly right now.
I haven't watched that. I did have a dream last night, though, that I went with one of the Menendez brothers to Disney World. Like, what the heck is up with that? It's a weird
Oh
dream.
God,
Yeah,
Starlight.
that's weird, right? Like, what? Yeah. Been having some weird dreams lately. I usually don't remember my dreams, but I remember that one. That was weird.
But man, you was telling me shut up in the chat last night, and I'm like, damn, what is wrong with Starlight? I know, and I even told you, I'm like, Starlight, I never did you anything. Why are you telling me to shut up?
Just aggravated with you. I feel like last night I thought you were just in there trying to poke the bear, as Dreamer likes to do as well. I don't know when you're serious and when
I
you're
go
not.
so I go in there so I work 6 hour watches. Okay, I work 6 hours on, 6 hours off. And when I'm laying down to go to sleep, Marvin normally goes live. Like that's around the time he goes live. So I watch it for a little while. I may say a comment or two, and then I fall asleep because I got to get up at 11:30 Eastern time because I'm near Pittsburgh right now.
Hmm.
So like I got to get up at 11:30 and get on watch and drive the boat or do whatever we got to do in our 6 hour watch. Which lately, like we're just at Pike Island Lock pulling cuts. That's all we're doing. So I only got to work
What do
when
you do?
somebody's
Just
here.
drive? You just drive the boat?
Yeah, drive a boat.
What does Rod do? Does Rod just, is he just a boat driver?
I I don't know. What I think he's a boat driver. But like that's another thing Woo Woo got wrong. Like we don't work. Like I don't. We don't work for the same company. Like
Right,
I
but
don't
he's
know.
some sort of, what, he's a shrimp boat captain or something.
No,
He's
he works
gone.
on
Are
a
you
big.
gone like that too?
Yeah, I'm
Go,
going 20 28 days. Yeah,
damn.
I just started working 28 on, 28 off. I actually used to work almost all the time.
You don't work in the oil field or whatever, do you?
Yeah, I push gas on.
Oh,
I push.
okay. You're making some good money then, Rogie.
So what I do, Starlight, is if you go
Yeah.
to the gas station, I probably brought that gas, or one of my people brought that gas.
Well, I live in like southeast Texas. I'm about an hour or so
Oh,
from
well,
Shreveport.
If you live in Southeast Texas, then your gas comes from a pipeline.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Pipeline.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, your gas comes from a pipeline. But we do move gas and diesel down there. We still move it. But but it's not as much because y'all got your own pipeline down there.
Okay, so that's what I was thought you meant was pipeline. So I have a lot
No,
of friends that work pipeline.
what we do, we carry like say 100, say 1 million gallons of gas. We carry it from point A to point B in the United States, and we bring it to these terminals where the trucks get it. The trucks pull in, and like people like they like shell gas or Texaco gas or whatever type of gas that they like, right? What's
Yeah.
so funny, what's funny is all those trucks get their gas from the same place because I watch them pull in. So
Well, I
nobody's
hope
getting
you
different
don't blow that
gas.
boat up.
I don't think you can say that on the live, but
Oh,
okay.
my bad. TikTok shop, TikTok shop.
But
I
yes, it's
hate
very
TikTok.
dangerous. It's very dangerous work. We push around a lot of gas and stuff like that.
It's kind of
Rogi,
scary.
address the pew pew threat you made. So me and
Hmm.
Starlight actually talked about this a few minutes ago, and there was no pew pew threat. I said I would go to Gypsy Rose's house and protect her, and I will still stand on that.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like saying, and I'm from the South, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I don't know. But if someone, like, if you come to my house, you better watch out because I got a pew pew. That doesn't mean
Yeah,
I'm going to use it.
right,
I mean,
right,
but I mean, if she feels threatened, I'm not trying to take that away from her or anything. Like, that's her right to feel however she wants to feel. I personally wouldn't have thought twice about you saying that if you said it to me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta call the probation officer. But I mean, everyone's entitled to their own feelings, whatever.
right. And look, and when we was on the live, you was there, Starlight. I said this to her. I said, if you felt threatened by my words, I am sorry. Didn't I say
Hmm.
that on the live?
Yes, you did after the fact. Yes.
I mean, I was offering an apology if she felt threatened by what I
Was
said.
she on there? Was she on the panel when you said that?
She was on panel when I said that.
That's what I thought. Jesse Ray, you threatened Ivory. I know, we're talking about it. I mean, it just depends what you consider like a threat. I don't remember your exact words. I'd have to like hear the clip. But I don't think he said like, show up. I'm gonna pew pew you right in your
You you
face.
want you want me to walk you through it? I can
Yeah.
I can say what I
Walk us
said.
all through it.
I can say what I said. Okay,
All
listen
right,
good.
say it.
Okay, I said so. Bree told me what happened. Okay, I said, is Rod home? The reason why
Right.
I asked Rod, the reason why I'm gonna walk you through it. So the reason why I asked if Rod's home, Rod is the man of the house. Is the man of the house
Hold
that
on, back up because
protects.
you like cut out. Hold on. Start from the beginning. I'm gonna mute.
Okay. All right, you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we was on the live and Bree said what happened about Ivory going drive over there. I said, is Rod home? I was asking if the man of the house is home because the man of the house protects the home. She told me no. I said, I will man up and I got pew pews. That's almost my exact words.
Yeah, that's not good. That doesn't sound very good.
I said, I will man up and I got pew pews.
That does
Meaning
sound
I
a little
will
threatening. It does sound a little threatening.
I will go to Gypsy Rose's house and protect and defend her because she has a constitutional right of protection. Just like everybody else, I don't care if you like her or not.
But Ivory Rose grows. She like she's a woman. Number one. Number two. What is she gonna do? And if you're trying to say you're going to man up with your pew pew, like that sounds kind of threatening. It does.
It was a look. It wasn't my best choice of words. Okay, it wasn't my
No,
best choice of
no, it
words,
wasn't.
and I've admitted to that already. I've admitted that it wasn't my best choice of words. It was a raw reaction to me thinking that Gypsy was in danger. Okay.
Oh, God. Gypsy is a danger. She's a walking danger.
But I just want to know,
Alternative.
Starlight, please tell me
What?
for the life, whose life is Gypsy really affecting? She's no one. No one is with Gypsy 24/7 to know what Gypsy's doing, to know what she
I
cries
don't
about.
need to. I don't need to know what she's doing.
People act like they know what she's doing 24/7.
Right. I don't need to know what she's doing 24/7, but I do think she shouldn't be on the internet with with the crime that she committed, which was committed over the internet. It was planned. I mean, over the internet. I don't think she should be allowed to have social media.
That's a good argument, but that should have been argued at her parole hearing to
Yeah, it should,
whoever
but
didn't
I
want
am
her
not a
to
lawyer or a parole officer. It should have been.
correct.
You're right.
I mean, they could have made that a stipulation of parole, and I said this on many panels. I even said it on Bree's panel. I said it, I think, on Marbury one time. Like, I agree with that. That I believe Gypsy would be living a better life if she wouldn't be on social media.
Uh-huh. So hold on real quick. So, someone made a good point here. Instead of saying you're
The
going to
the
man
chat's
up with a,
rolling. The chat's rolling.
yeah.
They see Starlight and Rogie. The chat's rolling.
Well, if they just said, instead of saying you're going to man up with a pew pew, like, why wouldn't you just call the cops? Like, why couldn't Gypsy just call the police if she was frightened?
So let me try to explain
Kind
this
of
to
like she
everybody.
didn't call the police when she was scared of her mom.
I'm going to try to explain this to everybody. So Gypsy was institutionalized first by DD and then by the state of
Wait, whoa,
Missouri.
whoa, whoa, what?
Well,
What'd you just say?
yeah, I said what I said.
No, I
Okay,
didn't. I really
and
didn't hear what you said. Say it again.
Gypsy was institutionalized first by DD and then by the state of Missouri for 8.5 years. She
Hold
came
on.
out like, okay, let me
Whoa.
redact. Hold on, Starlight. Let me redact my statement a little bit. I'm just gonna go to the 8.5 years she was in prison, okay? She came out to a whole new world. You think Gypsy Rose wants to call the cops? No.
She didn't want to call the
She
cops when she
she
was committing
is
fraud.
she
Of
is
course
still
she
learning.
didn't want to call the cops. Instead, she had her mom murdered.
She is still learning life.
Yeah.
There's a doctor that possibly that state that Gypsy Rose could have been suffering from PTSD, childhood trauma,
Oh my
and
God. Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
she could have not been in touch with reality at the time of the murder.
Oh my God, Broky, the denial
You
in you,
know the
like, I
doctor.
don't know, I don't get it. You've said
You know
yourself,
this
you've
record.
never even met Rod, you've never met Gypsy, but here you are out here spewing nonsense. It
I'm not spewing. I'm not
all in
spewing
defense of
nonsense.
someone who murdered their own mother when they could have walked out the front door and never looked back and got on that bus, went to Wisconsin, and never looked back. Dee Dee would have not known where she was.
I am
Dee Dee was
spewing
also not
doctors'
in good health.
interviews.
Dee Dee was also asleep.
I'm going off
So
the doctor's interviews.
these doctors never even treated her, most of them that speak. I mean, don't
But
make me go
they're
into the.
they're still experts in their field, Starlight.
They're not experts in the case, obviously, or they wouldn't be spewing nonsense.
They still have master's degrees. and they can
A
share that
master's
excerpt.
degree makes me no freaking difference because I saw Dr. Phil sit up there and buy into the narrative. Okay? So
Okay.
I don't care if you have I don't have a master's degree. I don't need one to see the forest through the trees here.
I was told that Dr. Phil isn't really a doctor
Well,
anyway.
he's probably not. I'm just using him as an example. That
Yeah.
you can be a well-known this, that, or the other and still spew out BS.
I'm talking about Dr. Fabian. I'm talking about Dr. What's the other guy that I put the video about? I got a video on this page about it.
Dr. Fabian.
Hmm.
I don't recall Dr. Fabian.
You don't recall Dr. Fabian?
No, I do not. Is
Well,
Fancy still in here? Fancy, can you tell me who Dr. Fabian is? I don't remember.
he did an extensive interview 3 weeks ago with Crime Weekly, like an hour or 2 hour long interview
Which one is
about
Crime Weekly?
about this case.
Crime Weekly. Is that the one with Stephanie Harlow? Yes, it is.
Stephanie Harlow and Derek, whatever his last
Mm-hmm.
name is. Don't make me chop up
Right.
his last name.
What was Stephanie Harlow's take?
I mean, you know her take. She's biased.
Why do you call it biased?
Is biased when you can't when you have a mirror on. Like when you have blinders on like a horse, a horse wears blinders. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you
Mm-hmm.
have those blinders
That's what
on,
you are, Rogie. That's what you are, because you don't want to see the truth.
like I do see the truth, Starlight.
No, you
Somebody
don't.
he, we discussed the truth many times. Dee Dee Blanchard is no longer with us because Gypsy Rose planned the unaliving of her mother. The
Yep.
state of Missouri saw fit to give her a plea deal of 10 years. I don't know why. Like, nobody knows why she got,
Because,
well, there's speculation of why she got that sweetheart plea deal. But
mm-hmm.
and I said this last night on a panel. Most people say that investigation stopped the second she got that plea deal. Do y'all know she didn't accept the plea deal till a year after her
Yes, I
mother was
did. Yeah,
murdered?
I knew
So,
that. You want to
so
know
with
why, Rogie? No, no, no. Let me tell you why. Okay. So she didn't take a plea deal until she had a preliminary hearing. Well, it was a little after that. I don't have my dates in front of me. But when Gypsy was faced with the evidence against her and she knew that she was screwed, that's when she took the plea deal.
But the point I was trying to
Because if
make,
she would have went to trial, she'd still be locked up.
okay, the point I was trying to make, and let me get to my point, then I'll address what you just said also. So, because that could be a false statement, she could actually walk scot free if they would have went to trial. Because
Bull. No.
if they would have had to pull all those doctors in there,
Rogie,
every
no, no,
last
no.
doctor,
Good.
if
I
they would
wish
have
they
had to pull,
would. I wish they would pull every doctor and every medical record up because it would prove the fact that she was not a victim of Munchausen by proxy.
if they would have had to pull every
And
last
you know what
doctor,
else
I'm
they
talking
would have
about
pulled
all
up,
the way from
Rogie?
childhood.
You know what else they would have pulled up? The videos that she made to Nick, like the one where she says, "So, are you a psychopath? Because if you are, we're a very good match." And they would pull up the video of her standing and videoing over her mother's empty bed, making jabbing motions, showing him where she'll be and where to jab her. They would have brought all that evidence up. Everything that you haven't seen, that I haven't seen, like the video that NPG posted of her out in the backyard in her wheelchair. Like, where's Dee Dee? Where's Dee Dee? But she's out in the backyard in her wheelchair, pointing out places where her and Nick can bang. Okay, all of that would have been brought up. And you know what else? The fact that she tried to pew pew her mother, not knowing it was a BB gun. Pew pew.
Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Rogie cannot post
Mhm.
your ex and her kids pics on TikTok. Go ahead.
Don't. Who said that?
Uh, I don't know, somebody being ugly in the chat. I mean, that's very.
I mean,
I
are they
never
just
did that
saying
thing.
that because of what that other guy did?
I have no clue.
Yeah, running around Disney. You know what else would have been brought up in court? Her interrogation video.
So, like, you're saying this like the prosecutors haven't seen all this.
They have Rogie. That's why they were trying to take her to trial.
So
And
you're
your
talking
lawyer?
about the same you're talking about the same prosecutors that wrote her plea deal wanted to take her to trial. That don't make sense.
Well, I can't tell you right here because I don't have it in front of me what the conditions were for a plea deal. I need to go look at my stuff to tell you that part.
I mean, she didn't even have to make a deal saying I would testify against Nick. She didn't even have to, like, that's looked at like that, but that didn't even happen either.
If you were told that look, people want to glorify her for what? Because she testified at Nick's trial. Did you not watch Becca's video about that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then you should understand. She wasn't doing it to better any situation, and she was protected because they weren't going to give her more time for what she was saying.
So there's two.
Chaka lied up there several times, which is
So there's two
perjury.
sides. So there's two sides to the argument. So, like, I could say that if all the evidence was presented, that if all the doctors would have had to testify, if there was things done that didn't need to be done,
Hmm.
a sympathetic jury, Gypsy Rose would have walked scot free, and the prosecution thought that 10 years was better than no years.
The
Now give
prosecution.
me your, say that again.
Hold on.
I said the
Hold on.
prosecution.
Okay.
Now give me your side.
Ruby Frankie got a plea. Anybody can get a plea deal. Anybody.
I know.
Sarah Boone was offered many plea deals that she did not take.
I heard
Okay.
like eight
Anybody,
years. That's
you're
crazy,
usually always offered a plea deal
right?
because most people don't want to go to trial.
They want to, and it saves the state money when you take the plea deal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So why did Gypsy take the plea deal if she's so innocent and was medically abused? Why did she even take it?
Because Mike Stanfield's smart. He did not want to take the 50-50 gamble. It was a 50-50 gamble. You
Exactly,
do
because
not,
more than
you do
likely he
not,
would have lost in court.
you do not take 50-50 odds.
Brokey, you act like you know these people. It blows me away. Have you ever met Mike Stanfield or asked him his strategy? Like, come on.
No, but I like watch a lot of court, and
I do
I
too.
debate with a lawyer all the time because I have a
Oh
lawyer in the
yeah, yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have a lawyer in the family, and we debate about cases all the time. And sometimes I'm right, and sometimes she's right.
Is she just a divorce attorney, or is she a like defense or prosecution?
She's a actual, not just an attorney. She's a judge.
Oh, nice.
She's a judge in a small town,
Her plea deal was because Christy and Mike sold the abuse. Exactly.
and she'll probably be a district judge one day.
That's cool. I always wanted to be a judge if I could go back in time. Mm. Rogie,
I
where are
actually
your
want
other
to.
buddies?
I don't know.
Well, I'd probably have them blocked, to be honest. Thank
You know,
you.
I come
Thank you,
here on my
Harrison.
own free will, Starlight. My own
I
free
know. I
will.
think you're the only one I didn't block out of those people
Oh,
so far. You could still be blocked.
I don't troll. I don't troll. I go on my own accounts. The only reason I created this backup because I wanted to make my bigger account called Grogy Man. I wanted to make it private because my family is on that. Like my family's
Oh,
on
is this
there.
a new account?
Yes, this is a new account.
Oh, I don't even think I'm following it. Let me
My
see.
family, my family is on my old account, and I privated that account so I could post pictures of my family and videos of my family without the whole like without
Right,
it.
because, heaven forbid people start posting your little children or some pictures of them as little children. It's pretty gross, right?
Yeah, I raised 9 children, Starlight. I'm not a
9?
bad person.
Holy moly.
So listen. So me and my ex-wife were married for 17 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so we had 2 children together. I had a son, and she had a son. So I had a stepson, my son, and then we had 2 children together. So that's 4. Okay. Then we took in my 2 nieces from my sister.
Mm.
So, and you could just about imagine why. Rugs. Okay. Rugs. Okay. So took in my 2 nieces. So that's 6. Okay. Then I got a divorce a year and a half ago, and I just recently remarried in July. And she has three. She has 3 boys. So
Good
now,
Lord.
yeah, and I have a 2-year-old grandbaby. I'm 41 years old. So I also my son's
We're like the
21 years
same
old.
age.
I have a 21-year-old,
God, you
and
started young.
yeah, yeah. I mean, people want to think, I'm
Thank you,
this,
friend.
you know, people think I'm a horrible guy, but I'm really not. I
I
mean,
don't think you're a horrible guy. Um, I've come across a lot worse. I'll just say that. I don't think you're that bad. You're pretty tame compared to some people. But okay, so people are saying in the chat, and this is like, the main thing that's bothering me today is your buddies that think it's okay to dox constantly. Like, where are they? Maybe they can come up here and have a talk.
I don't know where they at. They probably live somewhere if I had to guess. Maybe like Boston's live or one of them are live, maybe. I don't know. I haven't when I got on, I literally got on TikTok. I saw you. I said, let me jump in and see what Starlight's talking about. And you was just going live, and then me and you started a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to listen. They got 160 people in here.
I know. But what do you think about the doxing? Like,
I I do not agree with doxing. I do not agree that people should go real life on anyone. But in my belief is what's happening. They feel like if one side does it, the other side can do it.
but who's
And
doing that over here?
um, I don't know names, but I've seen Bree's picture all over the place. I've seen Crystal, who somebody had to get it off of her private account because she didn't even have it on TikTok. She didn't have her picture anywhere. And somebody took a picture off of her, found a way to get a picture off her private Facebook and put it on here. So it has happened. I don't know who's done it, but it has happened.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And people
That
put it as their profile pictures.
I have not seen that as a profile picture.
I've seen Crystal. She's not a kid. Who's in here
Okay.
keeps threatening to dox my children?
I don't see it. Where is it? What's the name?
I don't know. Somebody keeps saying it.
No children, no doxing, period, in my opinion. I don't see the comment, but it's hard to read comments on TikTok.
I go on Breeze Live and like I'm gonna address this is something that's going on in the chat. I go on Bree Live because I like to advocate for Gypsy Rose. When it takes a turn and other stuff's going on, I normally just get up, down or whatever for the night.
Maybe you should let them know that's,
Unless it's something, if I stay up, it's something that personally pertains to me. Like when they was talking about Ivory Rose Grows Wild, it personally pertains to me, so I would stay up.
right, I get that. I get that, but I just don't understand these other people that you're buddies with that think it's okay over hurt feelings or whatever, over disagreements, not, that they start doxing people and threatening them, threatening their jobs.
I will say this, Starlight, and I will stand on it 10 toes down. I want it all to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I want it all to stop. I want the drama to stop. Like if you dislike Gypsy Rose, you go on pages that dislike Gypsy Rose. If you support Gypsy Rose, I mean, which is a very small community, um, you go on pages that support Gypsy Rose and you leave the other side alone.
That's what I'm saying. Like it, with Bree in particular, I'm going to talk about just with Bree. She thinks she can debunk people, but when people, or myself, I should say, try to like debunk her back, and I just stick to the gypsy stuff, not making personal attacks on her or anything like that. Okay. And then after that, people start sending people photos of me that, like that. Okay. So I have one mugshot photo. Yes, I do. From years ago when I made a really, really stupid decision. It's really not that big of a deal, but it's not. I don't like that photo. I don't like it. So anytime they're mad at me or mad at Morbid, even they start showing my photo. They sent it to Internet Dum Dum, so now he's showing it.
He did. He showed it.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything
yeah.
about you.
And then
Maybe
I can't
maybe
remember.
I don't know what you look like then.
You probably don't. And it also has where I live on it, but whatever. They just keep doing it. So, and then also, people are sending them edited photos of me. I can't remember. I know I screenshot it. I can't remember if it was Beth or whoever. Jeanette. It was probably Jeanette. And I don't know what. That's one I would like to come in here right now because Jeanette was in that chat asking people to send her things on me. I don't even think about this woman. What is wrong with you? Like, that is just too far. Like, asking people for things about me. Why? Ugh. Exposing this was that is who I'm talking about, Channing. I don't like I'm trying not to say her name because what is she gonna dox me now? Is she gonna dox my family and put my information out just because I'm calling her out for being unhinged? Fancy, like anyone associated with Fancy is on the chopping block when it comes to that particular person. It's so ridiculous. Their obsession, like they act like Fancy's this evil mastermind puppeteer doing things behind the scenes, and I ain't never seen her do anything like that. Not to me, anyways. That person that you're talking about is in their own head so far that they are now like making up weird conspiracy theories on what Fancy is doing. Apparently, Fancy's running the Wambulance now. Like, what? People are nuts. I don't know where he went. He might have got a phone call or something. I don't know. Does anyone else lose sound? I don't know. Is it just, can you hear me?
Getting back. Okay, all right. Well, what we was you were saying something about Fancy. I didn't catch all that.
Well, I was
I got
kind
a
of just
call. I
talking.
had to get out the app.
Yeah, I was just talking to the chat really about the doxing
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
People
So
doxing, people
this
thinking Fancy
is
is some sort of mastermind behind the scenes.
this is my belief. Whether it's true or not, I don't IDK. Okay,
Hmm.
it is my belief that people's mods are causing most of the trouble
Like who?
on both sides.
Okay, can you name one of them?
Um, who they was talking about the other day on Fancy side? Pink Sands maybe,
What has she done?
and
What did Pink Sands
I
do?
I can't remember all these names. I can't keep up with all these people.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, I know Pink Sands. What did she do?
Uh, I don't remember everything, but I know there was some stuff going on with Pink Sands.
Like what though? Can you tell me what Pink Sands did that deserved for her to be doxxed?
Your side mods are unhinged. Everybody's mods are unhinged.
No,
Um,
no, that
and
is
then
not true.
I'm gonna ask you this, Starlight, and you better be truthful too,
Hold on, let me
because
tell you something right now. If one of my mods was doing what that person is doing, I would not want association with them at all, and they would not have a wrench or be.
I'm not unhinged. Well, you're not a mod in here anyway.
I don't
So,
have mods on TikTok.
okay. So, Fancy just put in the chat. I guess somebody told her she wasn't kidnapped. Do you believe, with your heart of heart, that Fancy Maselli was kidnapped
What
by
did Pink
Sarah?
Sands do?
I don't know what Pink Sands did. I just know
Can
there
you
was
all
some
hear
drama
me?
going on. Yes, I hear you.
What? Okay,
Yes,
what
I
did
hear you.
Pink Sands do?
I don't have personal knowledge of what she did, but I know something was going on behind the scene with Pink Sand.
Okay, well, hmm. I guess it would be nice to know what she did since, they thought it would be okay to go and dox her.
Did they dox her?
That's all I'm going to say.
Is that somebody that was doxxed?
Possibly. I don't want to say too much, okay?
Okay. Can you hear
But
me, guys?
what they're doing to her is so wrong, and that's all I'll say. And we're just going to leave it at that. She didn't do anything to these people other than have an opinion. That was the purpose for doxing Pink Sands, Ryder, and two others. Hmm.
Well, I know Ryder has made multiple edits of us. Like she turned us all into
Have you
animals.
seen? Oh
Yes, I've seen
no,
that. I've
not
seen that.
animals.
I've seen
Oh
that.
no. Have
I've
you ever
seen that.
seen Festering Fancy?
I've seen that.
Okay.
You're talking
So
about something that has nothing
if
to do with
someone
me.
would make
So
me into an animal, I would laugh.
I laughed. I turned it into my profile picture for the longest time. I was a
Okay,
toad.
so so that
Somebody made
deserves
me.
people being doxxed because they got
No,
turned into an animal?
I didn't dox anybody because they turned me
Not
into an
you, but
animal.
these other people did. It just needs to stop. And I don't know who to talk to make it stop. I don't know. I don't know. I think your friends are very paranoid and they get into their own heads and they make up things and believe them when it's not even true. Nobody's doing anything to anybody to hurt their real lives. So when does it stop?
I mean, I know this has nothing to do with you, okay? This has nothing to do with you, like your side at all, okay? But like, say just yesterday, something was posted about Brie on Instagram,
I don't follow Instagram.
and it was very, very ugly.
Who posted it?
Crystal Ball.
Okay, I don't. Are you
I just
surprised?
said,
I mean, it's
I
Katie Joy. Are we really
Starlight,
surprised?
Starlight. I just said you had nothing to do with this person. I just said that.
I know, but that's not really a good comparison. Okay.
Okay.
I can understand, whatever. It's Katie Joy. She's got a big platform. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Why Nina and Brie go back and forth? I have no clue. I have no clue why Nina and Brie go back and forth because
Because Nina
they had kind of shut up for each
exposes
other for about a
Gypsy.
month. They had shut
I
up for each
swear
other
it.
about a month, and then all of a sudden they kick back off. I don't know what happened.
Because Bree can't handle Nina's content about Gypsy. Like I swear this all goes back to the fact that y'all want or some certain people want to defend Gypsy so badly that they are doxing people over it pretty much.
Like,
Freaking
look.
wild.
If somebody posts false
It's gonna come back on
information,
Gypsy. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's gonna come back on Gypsy. And that's when it's really gonna be bad, Bree, when she's
if
not your friend anymore because you're doing nothing but causing her grief and drama because
if
you act like her mouthpiece.
if people post false information, I kind of just laugh and move on. But
Mm-hmm.
like the thing that I had a big reaction about is when someone drove 34 minutes out of their way to go down the bayou to Gypsy Rose's house, film it on it live. Now, just put it in your mind frame, Starlight. Somebody is driving 34 minutes to your house on a
Right.
live. And what if they have somebody, I'm not saying her particularly, I'm not even talking about Ivory Rose Groves.
I have seen people do this on YouTube before where they would drive by people's house with a bullhorn actually. Uh yeah, I don't agree with driving by people's house. I don't know. I'm not Ivory Rose. I can't speak for her.
Right, right. I get that. I get that.
So I don't know. Yeah, call 911. There you go.
To someone that is probably, so you're telling that to someone that has been institutionalized for the last 8.5 years
Why do you keep
and
using the
doesn't
word institutionalized? She was in prison.
that institutionalized in prison. She was confined to a prison.
Okay,
If you
I bet
if
you
you want me to
haven't
say
looked at
prison, I can
one
say. If
thing
you want me
about
to say,
Chillicothe. Hold on. You want to know why Gypsy thinks that, Chillicothe was like high school? Because it kind of is. It's not Orange is the New Black where people are like beating each other up and you got to be scared for your life. And no, it's like a women's detention center. Okay. They have keys to their room. It wasn't like she was in a horrible environment. She actually was in a place where she probably had to learn to socialize. That's why
right,
Gypsy never talks bad about prison. So quit making it out like she is a victim of the system. She deserves to still be in there. Like, what are you talking about?
That's a form of opinion, and I
Oh
appreciate
my
your
God.
opinion. Um, so let's talk about that for a minute. So the prison, okay? Most people make fun of Gypsy that it took her 5 years to get a GED.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Now, keep in mind that Gypsy Rose didn't go to school except like maybe pre-K or kindergarten.
Are we really going to talk about her GED? Like, good for her. Good. Yay.
Like what I'm saying is they said it took her 5 years. They kind of make fun of her for it.
Well,
That it
maybe
took
she
her
should
five
put it to
years.
use and get an actual job, like
So
a
she
normal
did.
person.
She does have a job. So
No,
she
she
did
doesn't.
12.
No, she
She did
doesn't.
12.
What's her
She
job,
did.
Rogie?
She filmed 6 days a week, Starlight. That is a
Oh
job.
no, that is so. Oh no.
That is a job.
A couple of days out of the year, a month out of the year, she's got to film a show that she wouldn't have if she hadn't murdered her mother. No, she needs to go be a greeter at Walmart or go work the cashier at CVS. Go do something real.
Like that she will probably have to get a if she does ever get a job, job, like an actual job, it is probably gonna have to be a home job because like nobody is gonna want the attention that is going unless this dies down. Gypsy Rose will never be able to get a job. A public job. Let me say it like that. A public job.
I can't. Right, so she should just keep grifting off the death of her mother, right?
So I mean, you could say that, but then I
I
can
bet
make it.
Casey Anthony has a job.
I could make an argument, Starlight, that if she really wanted to grift like y'all accuse her of, she would be live every day. Gypsy Rose could make a lot of money if she would go live on TikTok every
You
single
know
day.
why she doesn't? Because she is so stupid that she just makes a fool of herself every time that she tries. That's why nobody gives a shit about her new Lifetime series. No one's going to watch it. Nobody
That's
cares.
I mean, I disagree. People's gonna watch like that's almost like people saying that I'm not voting for Donald Trump, but then turn around and go vote for Donald Trump. They're gonna watch the series.
They'll
Haters are
only
gonna watch the
watch it. The
series.
only reason if I watch it is if I'm guaranteed a shit show. I'll watch it then. So I'll watch it on when the episode comes up where her and Ken break up.
Like, look, I'm sure you'll like that. I mean, go ahead. I mean, if it really happens, then like go ahead. I mean,
Yeah, I only watch
I'll
it for the downfall. I only watch it to catch her in some more lies.
I'll be tuned in and we can discuss it after. If you want to get on a panel and discuss it, we can discuss it.
I don't know. I'd be like banging my head against a wall.
Like it just seems like it seems like people want to hear our conversation here. I'm just saying.
Well, because you will actually come up and have a conversation.
Why I always so like I've
You
been
should
like
encourage
look
other people to do it.
look, you know what? I did encourage conversations to take place on both sides.
Well, what
I've
happened to that?
encouraged them conversations.
Sorry.
Them conversations never happened, but I've encouraged them to happen. I encourage like it was supposed to be like fancy Ivory Rose knows, not the girls, but Ivory Rose knows fancy like Bree and maybe I don't know who else. Maybe myself. I don't know.
Are
But
they just selective on the people they attack? Because, like, now that you bring up Ivory Rose Nose, I've never really heard them go at her.
they just kind of like because Ivory don't go for people. Like most of these people go for people,
Oh,
Starlight.
no, 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 no.
like Fancy. Fancy
What has
has
Fancy done?
8 years she been attacking these people.
Not
Years.
8 years she's been attacking
Eight.
Bree or exposing or who else? No, just Gypsy.
Yeah, the Blanchards.
Okay, and
That's called an obsession.
well, I guess everyone in here is just as obsessed. But I wouldn't call it an obsession. I'd call it an obsession for the truth instead of lies.
I mean, did you ever hear the letter that was written to Fancy by Gypsy? Because I heard it last
Five
night.
years ago, 5 years ago, that
Yeah,
one,
while she was
I
in
could
prison.
give a rat's ass, Rogie. I don't care.
Why you don't
Doesn't
care?
change. It changes nothing.
Okay.
It changes nothing. That Gypsy wrote Fancy a letter. They also tried to take Fancy to court. How'd that work out?
It was. I
So is
made a
that what
video.
is that
I
the
made
goal?
a.
Like, what is the end game, Rogie, for
I
these
made a
people?
video. I
What
made
do
a
these
video.
people want? What do they want, though? I want to know. What is the
I
end
made a.
game?
Vi-
What do they want? They want us all to be quiet about Gypsy because that's not going to happen.
I made a video about this, and they can file that lawsuit in another venue, and it will probably go
That's
through.
not my question. My
You
question
just said
is,
something about the lawsuit.
I know, but that wasn't my question. My question is, what is the end game for these people? Do they expect Fancy or anyone to stop talking about Gypsy? Because it's not going to happen.
Um, I I don't know, and I asked like you can ask Fancy. She's in the chat. I asked Fancy what the end game is. I asked her. I'm like Fancy. She's not going back to jail unless she commits another crime. What is your end game here? She says her end game is to
Get the
spread the truth.
truth.
Is to
That
get the truth
I
out there.
stand,
But that
I
is
stand
but
with her on that
but
because
that is
for
Fancy's
far
truth.
too long, this narrative that Gypsy's lawyer and Gypsy have all been putting out for all these years. It's why do you think that the pro Gypsy community is so small, Rogie?
That is
Because the truth
Fancy's.
is getting out. It is getting out, and it's not hard to see.
We're talking about, so what's getting out is theories and speculation.
No,
That's what's
no, no,
getting
no,
out,
no,
and the
no.
public.
Facts, Rogie, facts.
No, 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 no,
Like
no,
a
no, no.
chromosome deletion, which is a fact and which explains a lot of her medical conditions that she still has to this day. Okay?
So one of the biggest things that y'all say is that she needed the feeding tube for failure to thrive,
Yep. She
and she
even had
needed
a,
the
like a gas,
listen.
she had like a gastro, I don't know what it's called, where they have to wrap a piece of your something around your esophagus because even Christy confirmed that and that it was needed because Gypsy would throw up a lot. She couldn't keep her
Okay,
food down.
then then the wheelchair, right? So
No, hold on. She had a muscle biopsy done, right? Okay. Gypsy still has problems with muscle weakness now.
that's which
If you look
that is
at her
speculation. That is
medical
speculation.
records,
That is
she said
speculation.
her legs go numb. That is not normal. Gypsy cannot walk long distances without having to sit down. That's a fact.
She is a pregnant woman, and
No, Rogie, she was saying this when she was a little bit pregnant, and that does not cause your legs to go numb.
so people talking about the medical record. Despite what the medical records say, when Dee Dee went in the hospital, when Gypsy was way younger, a child, she played with the other kids. She pushed them around in the wheelchair. She played with the wheelchair. She never sat in it and wheeled herself around in it.
Because it was only used when she needed it because she has muscle weakness in her legs. If you look at her medical records, she didn't have muscular dystrophy like Dee Dee would put on these forms and things like that just because it looks good, right? Um, she had type 2 muscle atrophy. So the bone, I mean, not the bone, the muscle biopsy was needed and actually came back with a result, a positive result. What Ivy wrote, okay, let me see what Ivy wrote
Okay.
said.
So your stance is that not one single procedure, and I'm asking for my knowledge on your stance. Your stance is not one procedure was unnecessary. That is your stance on this case.
Yep. I have yet to find one in her medical records that wasn't needed.
And here's the problem. We don't have all her medical records.
All right, well, okay. Where's
Listen,
the rest of them hiding at?
this
Where are
is
these? And why
speculation.
is no one going after the Rogie? Why is nobody going after these doctors who did all these horrendous things?
Listen, Starlight, I told this story before and I'll tell it again. Okay. When I was like 11, 12 years old, okay, I had a mold on the top of my head. And I can't go live on this one yet, but I'd be able to show it to you. But I had this mole on top of my head. And my mother, like, even though the doctor said it was fine, it didn't need to be removed. My mother pressured the doctor to remove that mole. So guess what the doctor did? He removed that mole. He
Oh
put
man,
a
Rogie, that's traumatizing.
listen.
How dare she?
He put a quarter size critter in my head. I'm just
Oh, there's a.
telling you how. I'm just telling you how doctors in
So
my area keep.
you're a victim of Munchausen by proxy.
No, I'm not saying that, Starlight. Quit twisting my words. Okay,
Well, why would
what
you bring that story up?
what I'm telling you,
Okay, let me ask you something then.
I'm
Hold on. I don't
trying
know
to,
why. Oh,
I-
sorry.
I'm trying to resonate with you that doctors in our area can be convinced to do things.
Okay, no. All right.
We're talking about way back in the day. We're not talking about
Exactly. You want to,
2024.
and you
We're
know what
not
they
talking
didn't
about
have?
2024,
Listen,
Starlight.
listen. I let you talk. Listen. You know what else they didn't have back in the day? The ability to identify her chromosome deletion. That's why she wasn't diagnosed, it wasn't confirmed until 2011 when the technology had caught up. So all of these symptoms that she was having as a child that her mother had her tested for all come back to what she was finally diagnosed with, which is a rare chromosome deletion disorder, which explains why she is still to this day has symptoms from it. Okay. Also, let me ask you this. So if one of my children was born and they had a form of microcephaly or something like that, okay, and the doctor says, you take them to the doctor and they say, well, um, you may need to have this kind of testing done, or you can get this kind of surgery done, but it's not necessary, really, whatever. Or say your child is sick and you're trying to figure out why they're sick or why it seems like they have something like muscle weakness. What do? You take them to the doctor. The doctor probably is going to want to run a couple of tests, like with sleep apnea or with excessive drooling, which Gypsy had. It's in her medical records. Her mom was having to prop her up at night because she would choke on her own spit. And she also failed a swallow test. She couldn't even, that's why she likes soft food now. That's why she likes potatoes and things like that, because she cannot physically eat certain kinds of foods. Anyways, but if you had a child and they were ill, what would you do? You wouldn't take them and try to get it figured out? Now the grifting, the scam that Dee Dee brought along with the medical stuff, that's like a whole nother subject. I'm just
So,
talking about
so here's the speculation again. We are speculating on what Gypsy Rose eats every day. We do not know what that girl eats every day. She does not post, "Ooh, I'm eating this. Ooh, I'm eating that." She does not post her meals
okay,
every day.
you're
We're
too focused on
speculating on what she's eating,
okay, okay, Roki. But
and that's what I.
my point was that the stuff, the tests that were ran on her as a child were needed. Did you know she had? Okay, so they tried her excessive drooling was an issue. She also had a lot of ear, nose, and throat problems. Hold on. Let's go back to what you're talking about with this mole on your head. Let's say my child was getting chronic ear infections, and the doctor was like, "Well, we can put tubes in, and it's up to you as the mother if you want to have the tubes put in." And I'm like, "Yeah, get the tubes put in." Well, then the tubes come out, or you have to get them redone and all of that. Is that Munchausen by proxy? If I decide to get my child ear tubes, my daughter has to have 4 teeth pulled. She doesn't want to, but she has to. Is that Munchausen?
I mean, you already know the answer, Starlight. No.
It's not, exactly.
So, in the doctor and Doctor Fabian said it's not Munchausen. It's factitious
Who
disorder imposed
is
on another.
that is the same thing as Munchausen by proxy. It's just the
Well,
new term for it.
I'm just I'm just telling you what the expert said. I'm just telling you.
Oh, Rogie, I swear. Yeah, it's the same thing.
So Derek asked him specifically. He said, "Is this a case of in your?" He said it just like this.
Malingering.
He said, "In your professional opinion, was this malingering?" And
Yes,
he said no.
it is absolutely malingering. Then what is it?
He said factitious
Munchausen by
disorder.
proxy, fictitious disorder imposed on another, whatever word you want to use. No, it's not. I
Every,
don't know this Dr.
everybody wants to
Fabian.
talk.
Who the heck is Dr. Fabian?
He is a neuropsychologist
Did he
expert.
treat Gypsy Rose? Did he look at her
He saw
medical
for
records? Huh?
he saw her. He
He is.
was
So he
actually.
treated her.
Listen, you not let me finish.
All right, finish.
So he was going to be the expert that they was going to use, the Munchausen by proxy expert for the trial, but they called him. They never used him. They never paid him. Um, he was studying the case, and he was going to give his expert opinion at trial, but she took the plea deal. Then, but he did evaluate her for her parole hearing, to the best of my knowledge.
Fabian talked to Gypsy for 15 minutes
Yeah. Oh, well, he said no more
on the
than 30.
phone.
He said no more
Then
than 30.
he did not treat her. He obviously has not looked at the medical records.
He has looked at the medical records because he was studying the case to go to trial.
Well, that would have been great. I would love to hear him up on the stand. Why don't they pull Dr. Beckerman and all these other people who were doing all these false things? Why is not one doctor been held responsible because it never happened. And the guy, the one I wanted to correct you about was Dr. Beckerman. So Dr. Beckerman treated Gypsy from probably very, very early on in her young age. And then he moved to Missouri.
Correct.
I think how old was she? 10 maybe? So the hurricane happens and Dee Dee and Gypsy just magically end back up or with Dr. Beckerman, who treats her until. Oops, I didn't mean to send an invitation. I'm sorry. That was an accident. Um, I don't know how to cancel that. Anyways, so why is Dr. Beckerman not being held responsible as a doctor who treated her as a child all the way up into an adult? A man who very well should have known her age, who should have known everything, right?
What wasn't he the doctor that admitted to wrongdoing?
No, no. No, no. Dr.
One,
Beckerman has never done an interview, nothing. Why? If someone had medically abused me, I would be out for their neck.
you ready for me, Pike Island?
You talking to me?
Marietta? Sounds good, brother. Hey guys, fire me up.
Rogie,
You
what are
can
you
still, you
doing?
can still, you can still talk to me.
Oh,
We're gonna have to go through the lock to get on the other end to let this guy down.
what is going on? I'm so
Huh?
confused. Are you talking to me or on your little CB radio?
I'm talking on the boat radio.
They sold the attorney story. Is that Crafton?
Oh, so yeah.
It is?
So where was we?
Oh. I said, if you have been actually medically shamused, or whatever you can say on TikTok, I would be out for the doctor's neck. Like, I would come straight for you, especially because I would want that money compensation for you putting me through trauma, right? Instead,
So
she goes and gets a nose job. Anyways, go
okay,
ahead.
for one, you can only go after a doctor for like 2 years or something like that.
I
For
think,
two,
no,
for
I don't.
two, for two, they would be able to make the argument that I'm sure doctors have very good lawyers. They would be able to make the argument that and Dee Dee's not here to dispute it. So
Hmm.
they would be able to make the argument that Gypsy was a child and her mother was in charge of making the medical
Yeah, and you know
decisions.
what? That argument would probably go over because that's actually what happened. That's true. I want you to provide me with proof that she had things done to her that were not medically necessary to figure out what was wrong with her because she had a chromosome deletion.
I'm pretty sure that even your side, a couple of people on your side, have said that like at least like two or three things, and maybe Fancy, if she's still in the chat, can attest to this. That at least two or three things wasn't medically necessary,
Such
like
as
the muscle biopsy,
no, the muscle
which was
biopsy
very
was
painful, by
needed.
the way.
The muscle
No,
biopsy was needed, and it came back with a
no,
positive result of muscle
no.
type 2 fiber muscle atrophy, something like
Listen,
that.
listen, listen. So they did a test in her younger years that proved
Yes.
that she did not need a muscle biopsy.
She absolutely, a muscle biopsy is a test. The test came back with a positive result of something called muscle type 2 fiber muscle atrophy, something like that. It didn't come back for muscular dystrophy. Like, hey, Robbie.
Look at here, Starlight. And this is where I differ with other people, okay? I do not, I am not a medical professional. I am not going to make a professional opinion on Gypsy Rose's medical records because I am not a professional. That's why, like, I got ate up on a panel one day saying I didn't know anything. It's not that I don't know anything. I am not an expert, and I will not give an expert opinion on something that I'm not even in the medical field. I'm a boat captain. I've been on the boat for 22 years. Like, I know water. You put something on the water, I can tell you how to move it. Like, literally,
Well, next
thousands,
time I
hundreds
have
of
a
thousands.
boating problem, I'll let you know.
Like, I push 100,000 barrels of gas at one time.
You drive one of those tankers, like a tanker boat?
No, we put four barges together. They're 300 by 54. We put four of them together, and that
Thank
is a
you.
100,000, and that is 100,000 barrels of gas.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Well, you wanted to ask me about her medical muscle stuff, so I answered you.
But once again, we are not medical experts. And even the people say, like Ivory Rose knows, okay, she's a nurse, okay, but she never treated Gypsy. I know she may know how to read a little bit of medical records. These doctors go to school for 12 plus years. Why are we trying to read people's medical records and put it out as fact that we know that XYZ is true? You're stating a factual opinion when it's just your opinion and theory. It's not
No.
fact unless it's said by a medical professional that saw Gypsy Rose. Or I don't. It doesn't hold any water to me. Hey, go ahead, come in, loose guys.
It really doesn't take a medical professional to read the documents.
If you're not a medical professional and you're looking at the records, you're just sharing an opinion and not a professional opinion. That is what
It's
the
really not
argument I'm
that
trying to
hard.
make. That's what the argument
Okay.
I'm trying to make. You got all these TikTok experts that
Okay.
are trying
All
to
right.
make
But it didn't take a TikTok expert to read where she has a chromosome deletion.
that you don't know that she was affected by all the symptoms. Nobody can prove
Rogaine,
unless
it's
it's
in
her
her
doctor.
frickin' medical records. It doesn't take a scientist to read a piece of paper.
I mean,
It's not all medical jargon. Sometimes it's worded very simply.
like, and then people
And yeah,
read it
yeah,
like
yeah. You need to go tell Bree what you're saying to me. Tell her she's not a medical professional.
I didn't say Bree was a medical professional.
No, but you need to tell her that she can't read those documents because she doesn't know what she's talking about.
I didn't say like Starlight. So you twisted my words a little bit.
All
People can
right.
read it and give their opinion, but they are not professional opinion. That is my whole argument here.
Okay.
That they're not giving their professional opinion, but they're posting it on TikTok like it's professional opinion, like it's a fact.
That's what y'all do also. But it is a fact. I'm just saying it's not hard to read it.
And we can agree to disagree on that. Like I'm not taking anything as fact unless Gypsy Rose's doctor tells me that the all these procedures were necessary. That is the only person's word I will take. I will not take Mike Stanfield's word. I will not take Fancy Maselli's word. I will not take Natasha Cooper, like on and on. Christy, like anybody. I will not take anybody's word unless a actual doctor reads the medical records or even a doctor that treated her tells me personally that she needed all the procedures.
All right, well, we need to get a hold of Dr. Beckerman.
Let's do it.
All right, let's find him. I know
He
he's in
probably will
Florida
not go
now.
on the record. What doctor that did wrong is going to go on the record that he
Uh,
did wrong?
but he didn't.
We
Tell
don't know
Gypsy.
that. We don't know that. According to some things I heard recently, I mean something
Like what?
about the doctor, like they went to his house and stuff. That's kind of like
They went
inappropriate.
to his. Who did that?
Like DD and Gypsy supposedly
Oh,
had dinner
yeah,
at his
yeah. That
house.
was Dr. Beckerman.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Dr. Beckerman was a part of the fraud, not medical abuse, the fraud.
So the
I think
fraud
he,
was
because like
so
when you, what?
that's why we treat things different. The fraud was medical abuse. So
No,
okay,
she wasn't
okay,
having unnecessary things done to her.
okay,
What they were doing was exaggerating her symptoms so they could get free make a wish trips and angel
okay,
flights.
okay. So all right,
Thank you,
I'm gonna
Nicole.
try to I'm gonna give you one instance, and I'm gonna give you a chance to say if this was abuse or not. Okay,
Okay.
all right. So Gypsy was she was very young before like 9 or 10 years old when Dee Dee shaved her head for the first time. So you telling me that
I've never seen
even
pictures of Gypsy with a shaved head at 9.
9 or 10 or 11, somewhere around that age, she got her head shaved. Okay,
No, never. She had very short hair up until she was in that sink. You know, the picture of that scary looking possum looking picture of her in the sink.
okay. But what I'm trying to say is you telling me that even if now this is speculation because I've heard this argument from from even fancy on this that there was a conversation that happened between Gypsy, but that's pure speculation, and that's my problem. It is speculation. Supposedly, there's a conversation that took place between Gypsy and Dee Dee. Hey, let's shave your head. We're gonna get things. Blah blah blah. That is speculation. Nobody knows that that conversation ever take place.
And you know
But
why we'll never know,
okay,
Rogie? Hold on.
listen,
No, it's
listen.
my turn. No, I just
Hold
want to say
on,
one thing.
hold on.
No,
I
no, no,
gotta
no, no,
push my
no.
point here.
Let me, no, hold
You
on.
gotta let me
Just
get
hold
there.
on. I have one thing to say. It's really quick. You want to know why? Because Dee Dee was murdered in her bed, and then she's not here to tell the story. And Gypsy's out here making stuff up. She's writing her own story now. She gets to say whatever she wants because Dee Dee isn't here. She took her voice.
So, all right. So I'm pushing my point here with some type of abuse. That's all I care that people acknowledge that Gypsy was abused. So even if she sat a child down
She
and
wasn't
said,
abused.
"Look, we have to do this because XYZ. We're going to get XYZ. This is going to help us in life. I need you to do this for mommy."
Yeah.
Then she does it. That is
Uh-huh.
child abuse, Starlight. I don't care
Okay.
how you look at it.
Okay. That's fine.
That is child abuse. I don't care how you look at it.
Okay. If you want to call it that. It's definitely not
Even
something, it's not
Stephanie,
normal. It's definitely not normal. It's definitely a form of, I don't even know if you should use the word like grooming, you know, like grooming her to be a good liar, to be a con artist and a fraud. Yes.
Stephanie, who is
Malingering.
you,
Yeah.
you know Stephanie's stance on this, and she's biased. And she even acknowledges that Gypsy was somewhat abused, child abuse.
Yes, no normal parent would do that.
And that's all I want to acknowledge. That's enough of
But that
any
does
type of
not
abuse.
take,
in-
that has
Any type
nothing
of
to do
abuse
with
is enough for me.
medically abused. Like, unnecessary. Like, did you hold? Hold on, I've got to switch my earbud real quick. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the child that, okay, let me just put it this way. Dee was not making Gypsy physically sick.
I'm listening to you.
Do you have a response to that? Like, do you agree?
I do not have evidence either way. So I'm gonna I
Okay,
don't have evidence
that's
either way.
fine. Um, they were using Gypsy's uh, illnesses, whatever you want to call them, her disabilities, for profit, which is malingering, and for fraud purposes. I mean, she gave, yeah, Gypsy had to sit the pretty good, the best she could do, right?
So see, there is speculation, and I don't like speculation, right? I don't go off of speculation, but there's speculation that Dee Dee would put stuff in her feeding tube when they would go to the doctor, so Gypsy would be like almost like a I don't know,
What was she?
incoherent.
What the heck
Incoherent.
would
That's
she
the
put
word
in
I'm looking
there?
for.
Like
I,
what?
I don't know, but that
Exactly.
is once
Because it
again.
never happened. I've never even heard Gypsy say that.
All right, here we go.
You just pulled that
Once
straight out of
again,
your ass.
no, hey, I don't pull anything on my ass. I heard this before, and once again, I don't go off of things that's speculation, so I didn't repeat that. But I've heard that, and if come back with that, brother, 72. Thank you. Um. So yeah. So that would be me taking that as fact, though. If I would believe that that has happened, then it's almost like believing everything y'all hear on y'all side and taking it as fact. So if I would have, so if I would have took that as fact that Gypsy was drugged every time she went to the doctor, you understand what I'm saying?
Right, but I actually have like proof to back up the things I say.
Is it snowing? I think I'm getting flurries. I am getting flurries. That's cool.
It's snowing.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would not
like
want to
80.
be on a boat in the snow.
I'm in I'm like over by Yorkville, Ohio, on one side of the river, and West Virginia's on the other side of the river.
Ambulance. Well, it's just now getting cold here finally. You got
Yeah, I
people
think down in
triggered.
I think it did what happened?
You got people
Yeah,
mad.
did I trigger someone? You said?
Everyone's calling you out.
Oh, damn. Well, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. Like I'm getting used to that on this app. She planned for over 2 years. I mean, like there are only text messages that proves her and Nick planned for a year. So like, I mean, people say 2 years all the time, but the evidence. But if you follow the evidence, they only planned this murder for a year.
No. Well, maybe so. I don't know what happened within the first year, to be honest. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at when she started bringing it up to Nick.
Yeah. It
And
was like a year. It was like a year and a half
yeah,
before
which is a
before
pretty
the
long
murder.
time. Pretty long time to.
Well, I
start
can agree
putting
with that.
into someone's head. You know, she was grooming Nick as well to do what
Like
he did.
Starlight, I will never make an argument that Gypsy Rose didn't plan the unaliving of her mother. I will never make an argument about that. That is fact. That is following the facts of the case. The
Hmm.
facts of the case, Gypsy Rose definitely planned the unaliving of her mother. She even said it on the stand in court. Planned the
Yeah. Well,
unaliving
there's
of my
no
mother.
getting around it. She tried to lie about it until that preliminary hearing when the evidence was presented to in front of her and she knew she was screwed. She would I don't think she would have ever told the truth if she quote got away with it. Thank you, Wild. What about the BB pew pew? Yeah. I don't know. Rogie is of the mindset, I guess, where he
I
just wants
think
to
that was
be the
a
horse
yeah,
with
just
the
one line.
blinders, with the
Just
blinders
one.
on. And then he's going to be the one that's like, Gypsy did her time. She's out. Let her live her life.
I'm all, and that's what I'm about. I'm about the
Well, can she
rehabilitation of
live her
Gypsy.
life without exploiting her crime and somebody's death?
I mean, I don't see her say anything about her mother's death. And when she
That's the
does,
only
she,
reason people know who she is. The only reason. People don't look at her and go, "Oh, look, it's that little Gypsy Rose." They look at her and they see a murderer. She will always be a murderer.
all right, Pike Island, you could bring me up.
I bet he didn't hear one thing I said.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
See, told
Yeah,
you.
we're good. We're good.
Horse
It
with the
don't.
blinders.
Sorry.
It's all right. But you didn't hear a thing I said.
I did hear what you said.
No, you
Um,
didn't.
she did serve her time, and she served what the state of Missouri gave her.
Okay,
Like,
then she needs to go away and live her life and stop exploiting her crime and the death of her mother as her job, as you called it. That's her job now.
I mean, I can make the same argument that people's job on this internet every single day is to tear her down. Is that cool? Like, is that acceptable? Is cancer culture acceptable in this world? Is that what we're doing now?
Well, not anybody should be canceled. Certain people, yeah. I think that I was very against cancel culture. People tried to like take me down at one time. But when it comes to certain things, I think that people should be canceled. Gypsy Rose is probably on the top of that list.
I mean, look, if
Why can't she just go away and get a real job and shut up?
y'all y'all make her I'm sorry, but y'all make her who she is. Y'all push her out and people just keep on, and as long as it keeps on, as long as TikTok is talking about her on a daily basis, as long as YouTube is talking about her on a daily basis,
Well, it will
she's gonna
never be anything positive.
I know it don't matter if it's positive or negative. It
I don't care.
some
I'll give
people
her plenty of negative attention. That's fine. I'm all right with
some
that.
some people say, like, I don't agree with this, but some people say that bad publicity's good publicity, but I don't agree with that statement.
I don't either. Depends on the situation. If Casey Anthony was on TikTok, would you support her?
Hell no.
But she was found innocent.
She unalived her daughter and got away with it.
But Rogie, she was found innocent. She did her
I
time.
they she that a
Rogie.
horrible job. A horrible I see where you're going with this, Starlight. That is a horrible job by the police. The police did a horrible
But who did
job.
a good job? Jose freaking Baez, her attorney. But she's
Correct.
free. She was found not guilty, Rogie. So I mean, is it okay if she started up a TikTok?
Okay, so you made a good point. You made a good point. So Mike Stanfield is Gypsy's lawyer, correct? So
Hmm.
his job is to sell a story. That's his
Thank
main
you.
job.
There we go. We
His
finally got it out of Rogie.
his
Yes.
main
His
job.
job is to sell a story that
Listen
you're
to me.
buying, that the
Listen to
public is buying. Thank you.
any.
Finally, you
I'm
say it.
telling you to. I'm telling you, a prosecutor. His job is to sell a story to a prosecutor and make it believable. That way, that's
Yes.
any defense lawyer is going to do the
Yes.
same thing.
So does
Starlight.
Jose Baez says about Casey Anthony being innocent is to sell us? Do you believe his
You
story?
see what Fancy said? Hold on. Police did not investigate. Laugh out loud. Fancy, police investigated for over a year before Gypsy took the plea deal. That is a false statement that police did not investigate.
Police investigate what? What?
They
Sorry.
investigated the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard until the trial of Nick Godejohn and the plea deal of Gypsy Rose
No, they,
Blanchard.
yeah, till the
Yes,
plea
they
deal,
did.
because they had,
Yes, they
yeah,
did. Yes,
yeah,
they did.
because it was no longer had to be looked into as medical fraud and cons. They took her plea in 8 months, exactly, after the preliminary hearing.
So no, so Fancy, that's actually wrong too.
Hold on.
Gypsy got arrested. Gypsy got arrested in June of 2015. Gypsy accepted a plea deal in July
Uh,
of 2016.
exactly, yeah,
That
that's kind of
is
how that
that
goes,
is fact.
Rogie.
That is
That's
fact
kind of
and
how it
recorded.
goes. Because
That is
she
fact
thought
and
she could
recorded
get
record.
away with it. She thought she could get away with it until they presented her the evidence. Okay? Um, can we all just take a moment to acknowledge that Rogie finally admitted that
Oh God.
the defense had to sell a story?
Oh my God. It is a defense lawyer's job to convince the prosecutor that he is right on his case. That's his
Exactly.
job. That's what he gets
Mm-hmm.
paid to do.
Exactly, Rogie.
You're trying to
You're
make it
getting
sound
it.
like I said something that isn't known to the whole world.
No, you're saying the truth. You're not wrapping your mind around it. You're not. You're not. The defense,
Oh,
Albert, the Delphi trial that just went on, the defense tried very hard to sell a story of Richard Allen being abused in prison. Luckily, thank God, people were almost going to believe that. And luckily they didn't. Thank God. We had a good jury on that one. But, again, Casey Anthony,
hmm
if she had a TikTok and came on here trying to blog her get ready with me's while she's married but having another man's baby, things like that,
What do you
would
want?
you support
I know
her?
what you want.
Would you support her?
I know what you want, and you know what? I'm gonna go give it to you.
Because you're not you
I would blast the bitch.
exactly, Roki. Yes, thank you. Yes. I would make it
I,
my job if Casey Anthony dared ever. I would make it my job to daily go at her.
but we're talking about two different things. We're
No, we're
talking
not.
about
No, we're
someone.
not. She was not
Yes,
found. She was not found guilty. I very much think
talking.
she killed her baby. Absolutely, Kaylee.
I believe
But
that too.
technically, she's not guilty, and it's been God, how many years? What year? 2011. I think she was found not guilty in 2011. And so it's been however many years. Should we, give her a chance?
Would I give her a chance?
Yeah, to come on here and,
I gave like she had her chance. Like
no, she
I
didn't.
watched
You
her
know what
I
Casey
watched her
Anthony
docu
did?
series. I watched her
The
docu series.
After a million years, yeah. But what Casey Anthony did when she got released is that she went underground. She did that thing you're talking about, and what happened? She went right back underground because everybody still hates her and will always hate her. She's one of the most hated people probably in America, as she should be. So can't you understand why people don't like Gypsy?
I can understand why people don't like Gypsy, but why they gotta and I guess you're gonna back me in that corner here because I said I'd go after Casey Anthony. So like why do they gotta get on this internet every day and make it their job to just like they lose their mind over this shit? Like some people look, Starlight, you gotta agree with me on this. Some people, it looks like it's very unhealthy. Some people are losing their ever loving mind. They need to go seek therapy.
The only person I've seen lose their ever loving mind is Bree. No offense, Bree, but yet I see you going bonkers over there. That's it. I've only seen your people losing their minds. Who over here is losing their mind,
I'm
going
not gonna
bonkers?
name. I'm not gonna name names, but
You can't say Nina.
I've seen it many times. No, I've never seen Nina like have a meltdown or anything like that. But
Okay. Are you referring to
I've,
Fancy?
so that's one of them.
Okay. And that happened, what, a few times?
Many times on live. Many times.
No,
Many times.
she will talk aggressively when she's having a debate with someone because she believes in because what she's saying is the truth and you people don't want to hear it and it's very frustrating.
I mean,
I've never seen
I could disagree with that. I think my truth's the truth. So like her truth the truth, my truth's the truth. Like there's two sides, and
yeah,
it's
and
okay.
people like do you think Fancy deserves to be harassed on a daily basis? Have
I I
video
I don't
after
know.
video after video after video after video after video made of her. I did Fancy didn't
I mean,
murder her anybody. Fancy didn't
somebody.
murder nobody.
I mean, somebody. I don't know why. Like big creators like Natasha and Fancy have many people that um make videos about them on the daily. Like
Okay,
I don't know why that's a thing, but it's a thing.
but if people do it to other people like Bree, they get doxxed, right?
I mean, it happens to Brie all the time. You know that.
No, I don't really know everything that goes on. I don't know if she's gotten doxxed. I don't know.
I know we
But I
talk
know that
common
I've never
man.
heard Fancy or dox her. They dox Fancy every single day. Every day.
I mean, look, I was watching when
That's Truth
like
Crystal Pistol.
people do shit that's not okay. I'm just gonna say that, like sending like the day that somebody sent something to her house, like that shit's not okay. I don't condone that at all.
Thank you for saying that.
Like that's not cool. But
No, it's
I
not.
mean, her like I'm not gonna say where because I don't want to dox Fancy, but like is her address is very public.
I bet mine is too, Rogie. That does not make it okay.
Yeah,
It's not okay to put people's information out here. Like,
just like they said, it's
Bree
not hard
wants
to
to
find
say,
Gypsy. They say it's not hard to find
Of
Gypsy. All
course,
you
it's
gotta do
not
is
hard to
Google.
find Gypsy. Of course, it's not. But I'm talking about us little peons over here in TikTok land who, like, Bree wants to say she didn't dox me, but she showed the name of my town. I don't live in a city. I'm in a small town.
Hmm.
And she thinks that's okay because she didn't put my name and address. Well, you put where I live. It's not hard to put the puzzle pieces together.
Right.
Do you think that's okay because it's a half dox?
Like, I think people on both sides, borderline, they know the law and they borderline the law. Correct?
Does it
Like,
make it okay?
I
I'm
said,
sorry, like it sucks more. Trust me. Do you know that people called a SWAT call on me in 2019, and then somebody called a fake CPS on me, and they went to my children's school, shit like that. And the person who did the fake SWAT call was caught by internet people, not by the police, unfortunately. So the laws, unfortunately, have not caught up with the internet because doxing in any form should be illegal. If you are showing where somebody lives, what their government name is, which is none of your business, then I think there should be consequences for that.
right. I mean, they like,
Their
I don't know.
children, yeah.
TikToks need to get stricter policies. I mean, look, I'm
It's
not gonna
bad
lie
over
to
here.
you.
I
I'd be
thought YouTube was bad. Oh no. Yeah, this place is worse
this the like
when it comes to
Star
doxing.
Starlight. I just said this last night. I got TikTok just a little over a year ago, and if you go, well, I think you're still my friend, maybe on my private page, but like, so I created videos like a skydiving, like dancing and doing to Cajun music
Hmm.
and like just doing stupid stuff. That's
Yeah.
what, like, and sharing stuff about my marriage, my children, like stuff
Hmm.
like that. That's what I create. I never knew in my life that I was gonna have to lock my account down.
I know. I didn't
And I
either
don't think
until I did. Like I didn't know when I started YouTube, I had my first name as
I tell you,
my
Linus.
anyways, I had my first name as my username.
Sounds good,
Not
thank
my
you.
last name, just my first name, but still people were able to find me from that. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah, and like I said, I will never agree or
It's not a good
condone.
feeling, is it? It sucks, right?
It's against. It's
I've
against.
had to
I know.
go to my mother, who's in her 70s, and lock her Facebook down because people were going over there to get stuff on me or get pictures. And
Okay, I got to ask a question. So with Bree, are you the person that like sent somebody to her mother's house and doxed her uncle or something like that? Maybe her dead uncle or something like that?
who are you asking me?
Yes.
Did I do what?
Did you send someone to Bree's mother's
I-
house?
I'll stop you right there. I don't send anybody anywhere. So what?
Someone went to Bree's mother's house and
Okay.
and then doxed like her uncle or dead uncle or something like that, and like her
I don't.
husband, and
Who?
like a lot of stuff has been done to Bree.
Okay. Why are you accusing me of doing that? I would
I'm not
never.
accusing you, Starlight. I'm asking you if that was you.
You, if what was me? I still don't understand. Did I send some? You're saying I sent someone to Bree's house?
I'm asking you if you did.
Hell no. Wouldn't do that to. I didn't even do that to Andrew when I thought he was gurgling dead on the floor on Morbid's Live.
Right, right.
Why would I sit? No, that's against everything that I believe in myself morally. I don't care about Bree's role. I don't know who her stepdad is. I didn't look at her Facebook. I don't know anything about the woman other than what she does on the internet. I don't care. I don't. I don't need to know who's behind the picture. It's not important to me.
I don't need to like. I don't need to know who's behind these pictures either. Like I go on live. I mean, I
But
show
all your
myself,
friends
but
do. Like, I don't know shit about you, Rogie, but what you say on the internet.
right,
I don't need to know anything. But all your little buddies over there make it their job to look up people. Like, they've got to wake up in the morning and that's what they do all day is try to figure out who people are. It's weird. There are people on here that I can say like are some of the best friends that I've met on here that I've known for 5 years. I couldn't tell you what they look like. And I've talked to these people in private. I love them. And I don't need to know what they look like to be their friend or whatever.
right.
So
I got. I mean, I got friends off this app too. I mean, be honest with you, I work on a boat a lot, so I don't have a lot of like. I have friends at home, but I don't see them very often because most of them work on a boat too. So we're not off together.
I know he did, Lucy. I heard. Um,
What happened?
yeah, but my point, stupid Andrew. Um, my point though is that you are hanging out with people, which is fine. You're allowed to hang out with whoever you want, that make it their job to figure out who people are behind an avatar. And that is where things over here are so much worse than YouTube. I've seen some really egregious things on YouTube, but anyone that was a doxer over there, we publicly shamed them. They were called out for it and then usually never did it again. But over here, especially over on Breeze, that's all they do. I'm so sick of people thinking it's okay to look into your real life.
I'm sick of it too.
Well, maybe you can talk to your people, especially, I'm just going to say it. And if this person ends up doxing me or my family or anything like that, it's only going to prove my point here. But exposing the Good Wives Network, aka Resident Midnight, is out of control, unhinged. I don't think people should allow her on panel. I don't think she should be allowed in the chat because she thinks it's okay because somebody said something that hurt her feelings. Now she gets to dox them and their family and where they work. That's okay. Ugh, so sick of it. And
I
she was
I'm pretty
bragging
tired
about
of.
it, Rogie. She was bragging.
I'm pretty.
She said, I made 3 people have to go private within the last few days because she was doxing them and they had to put their accounts on private. She was bragging about it.
I'm pretty tired of what you're talking about. Also, like I'm tired of
It's
all
too
that
much.
happening. I'm tired of like I told you, I had a fun account. Like I created TikTok for fun. Like
Right. This
I,
place, that's why I barely come over here. And when I
right.
do, I usually just watch like videos that I'm subscribed to or that show up on my FYP. For the most part, I watch YouTube, but I just can't with the doxing. It's it, it just makes me mad, especially with that person, because that person is allowed to be anonymous. She brags about that she's anonymous, but she finds ways to look people up and dox their lives. But she gets to be anonymous? Like what? That's very contradicting. I think that person is unhinged. It's just too much. If we want to argue or have debates over Gypsy Rose Blanchard, we can do that all day. We can fight about words on the internet. But when you take it to the level of looking people up, putting their children up, okay? Like,
Who threatened Marvin last night?
probably, I don't know
I
who
just saw
thought.
that in the chat. I just saw it in the chat. I was reading it in the chat.
Now, I do want to make this statement. Um, what's going on between internet dum dum and morbid? That morbid will destroy that guy. So that guy started it. Just saying. And morbid invites it. But there are people on here that don't want to be doxxed, that do care, that do have families. I mean, not that morbid doesn't. I'm just saying, like, I know he did not stream that kid's I say kid. Oops. He did not stream a funeral. He did show pictures, and I don't blame him. That guy has done some really egregious stuff. He met his match. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
Great conversation, Starlight. I know we go back and forward on our opinions, but like once again, and that's my biggest thing. We can state our opinions and theories all day long, but like we gotta have like the hardcore facts to back up what we say.
Yeah.
And we wasn't there when one doctor says that this started that he believes my child by proxy started at 3 months old.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. I gotta go in a minute anyways. But since I am able to have a conversation with you, Morbid did not dox his own kids. Just fucking stop.
They
Go
said something,
on.
somebody said years ago that
He can,
Morbid put his
oh,
own kids on his own, like live or something like
if
that.
he did, it wasn't to dox them. It's probably, I don't know. It had to have been 6 or more years ago.
Yeah, I did hear that. So I just wanted to say it. I did hear that.
Go away, Aubrey. Just go away. Doxers. Dirty, dirty doxing pieces of shit.
Be nice to Arbor. She's from Australia.
Oh, yeah,
So,
she's so nice. She's great.
uh, rules anyway, interlock, support locks. Mm, lock assisting, 25. We go for military. Like,
You think it's okay for? Do you think the black baby edits are okay, Rogie?
I
Honestly, do you? Do you think those are
like.
okay?
I thought are they original pictures of her? Like, if they're original pictures of her, are they original
No,
pictures
they're
and then
no.
turned into Avatar?
They're taking Nina's face and using it with AI and making black babies.
Okay, like okay, I didn't know. Like, I've seen the pictures, but I didn't know exactly like what you was referring to. Um, like I don't agree of the picture shaming on both sides. I'm gonna say that, okay? That's
Hmm.
what I'll say. I don't believe in the picture shaming on both sides. Like many pictures have been posted about Brie and her weight, and they made her look in a very disgusting light.
She does it to people all the time. She doesn't like it when it's done back to her.
And if she would be in here, I'm gonna say her exact
I
words. When did I
mm,
do that to people, Starlight? I'm gonna say what she would say. She like, show me. Who did I do that to? And
me? She did it
and
to
did
me.
they attack me first? Did you attack her first?
No, I went over her live streams. Yes, I've stopped doing it, but I called her bro.
Okay, that's trends.
I never
That's
went at her looks until she came after mine. I know who I am, okay? You can show every ugly angle, old ass edited photos of me, my mug shot. It doesn't change who I am. I know who I am. I am secure in who I am. So just keep it up. But
and that's
when it's done, back to you. I don't want to hear it, okay? You want to match energy. They keep saying that over there. Well, the one time I matched Bree's energy, she had a complete come apart.
lost my train of thought. I was about to say something, but I lost it.
I got to end this soon, anyways. My daughter has a dentist appointment.
Yeah. Want my address. Boston behave.
Boston,
Boston.
I'm mad at you, Boston, because you blocked me for no damn reason.
Do you got a few minutes? Fancy wants to come up.
Yes, I got a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, here she is.
Hello, Fancy.
Hello.
We've been
Hey,
talking for
Fancy.
2 hours. I'm kind of wore out, but come at me.
It's okay. I'm not coming at you hard or
We're
anything.
going to have a calm,
Good.
rational
That's fine, baby.
conversation.
No, we can. I've had many rational conversations with Rogie. I don't have
Yeah.
an issue with speaking with Rogie. I have an issue with the people who
No,
say nasty
hold on.
shit.
Nobody in here can tell Fancy to go away.
And
She
I'm
is more than welcome here anytime. And
and
I
I'm
don't want this person in my chat. Hold on. I'm sorry, Fancy, because I
okay.
don't
No,
have
you're fine.
mods. All right, go ahead.
First of all, thank you guys for getting me home through a processional that lasted for hours because my husband's uncle died, and he's the largest tow company in the state. Go ahead, turn the heat on, baby. Okay, so you guys kept me company through all of that. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. And today is also the anniversary of my mom's passing, but it's all right.
Oh,
This is going to be a distraction, so thank you. All right.
right.
Sorry. I swallowed my meat wrong. Oh my God. Okay.
That's what she said.
I know that's what she said, right? Okay. Rogie, I have a specific question for you because it is something that has come up recently that even I didn't know about. And so, we've all heard that Dee Dee claimed that Gypsy had cancer at 5. Leukemia, to be specific, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, I always thought that was false. Always. Even up until a few weeks ago. And I supported the fact that she never had chemo. None of that happened. But can you explain to me why, in an interview, did Melissa Moore, who says she has the records from her birth through 2015, said that she personally saw that Gypsy had a bone marrow treatment? Can you explain that to me?
No, I cannot. I'd have to ask Melissa Moore, and I'd have to see the record.
Right.
I've never seen the
Melissa
record.
Moore.
You what, Rogie?
I've never seen that record, Fancy.
Yeah, I've never seen that record either, but Melissa Moore in an interview stated specifically that she had seen the bone marrow transplant, and she was indicating that the bone marrow transplant was one of the unnecessary surgeries. Now, here's the funny thing about that. About a week and a half before I saw that, Becca Scoops is who clipped it and put it together so that people could see it, and I don't even think she knew what that really meant, because in 2014, I was looking for something, and I have put these papers out. I was looking for what medication she was taking at that time. And in the medical records for many, many years, it was always listed as leukemia of unknown etiology at 5. Okay. Never treated, never saw anything like that. But here's the funny thing about that. In 2014, they actually defined the exact type of leukemia, and they mentioned that a bone marrow transplant was done. And when I first met Gypsy and began asking her about, oh my God, how could the doctors not have realized what was going on? I said to her, she goes, well, I don't know, and I just believe what my mother told me. And I said, but Gypsy, honey, you would know if you had chemotherapy or not, because it's very evident when you have chemotherapy. There's things going into you and coming out of you. And she said, no. My mother told me that I was taking these pills that were my chemo pills. And at the time, I said, well, that's bullshit, because that's not how chemo works, except it is. In this actual instance, with the type of leukemia that Gypsy supposedly had, it is the most common of all childhood leukemias. It is 95% survivable, and the treatment plan is a bone marrow transplant and 1 round of chemotherapy pills. And so now it's very interesting to me that Melissa Moore is stating that before she was 9 years old, which is where I have the records that start, that she had a bone marrow transplant, because there is no doctor on the face of the earth that is doing a bone marrow transplant without outrageous amounts of testing and proof.
Oh, I never heard of that. I mean, this whole bone marrow theory.
And now we know that Dee Dee had cancer because of the autopsy report, which they all denied this before. They never told anyone that Dee Dee had cancer. They said it was a lie that Gypsy told Nicholas just to make him think that he would be doing something noble in doing that to her, and that she would be putting her out of her misery, except the fact that Dee Dee did have cancer. And so if Melissa Moore is stating that she had a bone marrow transplant at 5, and they gave her a round of chemotherapy pills, and Gypsy stated that she took chemotherapy pills. Can you explain that to me now, Rogie, of how that
acts? You are you on speaking terms with Melissa Moore? I'd have to know if
absolutely not. Absolutely not, and I never will be.
I would have to know if she misspoke. So
she did not misspoke.
So
you don't misspoke about a bone marrow treatment. It's not something you just pull out of your ass and misspeak about.
I get what you're saying. So to see, I mean, this is where we have to speculate until we would see a medical record.
I know that the bone marrow treatment would then make sure her blood would be cleansed after 2 years, and so there would be no indication a bone marrow that she had cancer. So that would explain why it was never looked at again, because she never went back to an oncologist after that, because her treatment was fine. Now there are, if this is all true, this blows apart any story that the Blanchard family has told. 5, I guarantee you they all knew about it. And they've always known about it. And Melissa Moore screwed up by admitting that she saw the bone marrow transplant herself.
Yeah, I don't have any knowledge of that. You know, there is a false narrative, Fancy, that I actually am in direct contact with the Blanchards, and that it's just a false narrative.
Defense her attorney that's handling her divorce. I know that. That's I don't believe.
Wife.
But wait a minute. Let me ask you a question though. You just said you're not in direct contact with the Blanchard family, right?
Correct.
So then, how did Gypsy you to come take care of Ivory Rose Goes Wild?
So that's once again, Fancy. If you were listening earlier, that never took Gypsy never number.
So then how did you know to go and threaten Ivory?
of all, I didn't threaten her.
What
Okay,
happened? He went
listen,
on. Hold on. He went on Bree's panel one night,
we
and they
was
told
on.
had
They
drove
told me
by,
what
and that
happened.
Gypsy wasn't there. And then that was his reaction to like hearing that
Wait a
she
minute.
had
I
drove
thought
by.
she was there and was very, very scared. That
Well,
was
they
the
Gypsy
said
was
last that
that
I
there.
she
heard.
wasn't.
Okay,
Oh, funny. So
all
there's
right.
more lies. Okay.
I
All right, Rogie, then
hold
that's
on.
fine. If she didn't call you,
Hold,
that's fine, but that's the
hold
rumor
on.
on
Hold on. I explained this earlier. Let me
Okay.
explain it again because it
I
sounds
didn't
like
get
you
to
don't
hear
have the.
everything because I was in a car with people, but I had it on very low, so I could just pick up a
I
little
want to
bit.
give you the full context because I know you get like I saw your messages to Ivory Rose Girls, and I know you get kind of involved in this. So I want you to have the
Yes, because
full
I'm very
context.
concerned about it.
I want you to have the full context from my side. Okay.
Okay, sure. Go
All
ahead.
right. So the you know about her going drive by her house and
I
all
do.
that, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
So you know about that video. Okay. Either that night or the next morning, I think it was the next morning,
Mm-hmm.
we was on a live
Mm-hmm.
and Bree told me, yeah, Ivory Rose went ride by Gypsy's house, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. I
Uh-huh.
said, I said my words, is Rod home? I asked, is the man of the house home? Bree told me no. And then that's when I said, I'm gonna go man up. Next man up, right? Next man up. I said, I'm gonna go man up and I have pew pews. I said I was going to go to Gypsy Rose's house. She said she never went to Gypsy Rose's house. So if I threatened her and she never went to Gypsy Rose's house, I said I was going to Gypsy
Okay, but
Rose's
that's a
house with my
threat
pew
right
pews.
there, Rogie. If you said that you asked if Rod was home or not, and they said
Okay.
no, and you said that you were going to go to Gypsy Rose's house because you heard that she was out there with
Ending.
a pew pew, then that is absolutely 100% a threat. I'm sorry,
The
but it
next,
is.
no, so fancy. I don't know if you noticed, she went to the law. She tried to
I
file
do know that.
charges. She tried to file charges, and the law said that I did not break the law.
So so that's how you're justifying it. So because the law says that you didn't do anything wrong by saying that you were going to take a pew pew over there and protect Gypsy, you think that that's okay for what you
I'm,
did.
I'm telling you that I did not make a threat towards
I
her.
would think
I
that
was
was a threat.
saying,
I'm sorry. I would feel
well,
threatened by that.
I understand. I understand that, and I even told her on a panel on Margaret.
And
I
see,
said, if
I'm
you
gonna be
were
devil's advocate. Hold on, I'm gonna be devil's advocate for just a minute because me and Rogie talked about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't. I don't know how I would have taken that if he said that to me. Because
Okay, but you can't determine whether you feel threatened or not in that
right,
situation.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't invalidate
Right.
her feelings at the same time because she's entitled to feel how she wants to
Exactly.
feel regarding what happened. You know.
Feeling threatened is a valid thing, and it does not have to be anything specific that makes you feel threatened. It's just that you felt threatened, and she felt threatened. Now, do I agree with
people-
her
oh,
necessarily
God, hold
driving
on.
by Gypsy's
I'm
house?
sorry,
No, I don't
Fancy.
agree with driving by Gypsy's house.
Right, I agree
don't.
with you there.
I think that was a stupid move. I do. But I understand why she did it because Christy's calling her a liar. So I get that. But driving by someone's house and Gypsy being scared because she drove by her house, like everyone drives
Oh my
by your
God.
house every freaking day. What are you talking
Real
about?
quick. Can y'all stop in the chat? Like, why?
I'm not even paying attention, Starlight. Don't worry about it.
I
me
just don't
either.
know why you're in here and leave Kesh, whatever you want. I call her Kesh. I was just like,
I do too. I call her Kesh.
leave her alone. Okay. I don't have
So
mods in here and I don't want to, but I will if I need to.
But what
Aubrey
is the reasoning,
Zombie.
Rogie, for you to feel that that was your place to go over and protect
Stop
her?
spamming
She's
the
got a
chat.
daddy and a dude.
So her dad was in Texas and her dude was in New Orleans where he lives, and that's who she called to come get her.
Okay. Fair enough. Then
So
why do you need to insert yourself into that?
so when I heard what I heard, Fancy,
Thank
I
you.
said
Thank you.
I even admitted this already
Okay.
that and I told this to Ivory Rose Girls on a panel on Margaret. I said, if you were threatened by my words, I am sorry.
Okay.
And Starlight can vouch for that.
Yeah,
She
I
was
did.
there.
All I was trying to
On panel.
clarify was when you said you didn't have direct content, I had thought that you were directly contacted by Gypsy. So if you were not directly contacted for Gypsy, then I don't have an issue. However, I do still think it's a threat, but I don't have an issue with the fact that you're lying about knowing Gypsy personally. Fine. That's all I was trying to establish, because it seemed to me that if you were called and you went over there, then you obviously do have direct contact with them. But I get that your wife just works for the attorney, which makes me even more suspicious of why you're just so gung-ho to be out here on the streets defending a woman you know nothing about, really.
Look, Rogie said earlier, he did an analogy about, a horse that, how horses wear blinders.
Yes.
That's Rogie.
I can see that. I can 100% see that.
I did not say that.
You said it earlier, and I was like, that's exactly what you're doing, Rogie. You've got your blinders on.
Well, that's exactly what the whole brigade over there does. They pick and choose what they choose to latch onto and believe, and they put blinders on to anything that proves them wrong
Right.
or gives a different narrative than they believe. Not then that has been proven, but that they believe.
Yeah. Well, and Rogie is also of his mindset is, she did her time. She's out. She's changed. Let her live her
She
life.
hasn't changed, though. That's the problem.
Oh, I
The
know. I
problem
know
is
all
that she
that.
hasn't
But that's what
changed.
he thinks.
And I've been
You know?
making the argument, like me and Starlight been talking about this, and I'm like, nobody is with Gypsy 24/7. She hardly goes on live. Y'all only are making y'all opinion off of little snippets of her that y'all see every now and then. Y'all are not with her 24/7.
I see what she shows to the public, Rogie, and if that's what she shows to the public, then I can imagine what she does behind closed doors is 3 times worse.
Yeah,
Because you
right.
only show the highlight reel to the public, and her highlight
Right.
reel is pretty damn bad, Rogie. And then on top of that, she associates with people who do the things that the people that Bree and Scribbles and the rest of them do. I think it's very interesting that of 8 people that she still has on her freaking public profile, the top one happens to be Scribbles. Do you think it's a good idea for her to be following somebody who is being paid to stalk, bully, and harass people and put misinformation out? It's not a good look. I'm just saying.
Well, me and
I agree
Starlight
with
went
that.
into detail. Me and Starlight went into detail about this a little while ago, and I don't believe in stalking, harassing, bullying anybody. I mean, I was doxxed myself, Fancy.
I get
My
that.
charges were put out.
I agree, and
blah,
I
blah,
disputed
blah.
that for
I'm
you,
called-
didn't I not?
I'm called a wife beater. I mean, it's not true, but I'm called a woman beater. It's not.
Okay,
There's
but
no
did I or
truth to
did I
that.
not have you on a panel where we talked about that? And when you explained it to me, I said, then absolutely not, Rogie. I understand. And that if that is the way it happened, then you absolutely should not be called that ever again. I did say that for you because I am about truth and facts. I don't care that you like Gypsy Rose. It doesn't matter to me. That's your choice. I think that you're naive. I think that you believe lies. And I think you want to believe those lies. And I think that you willfully ignore facts and evidence to do so. But I don't agree with people calling you a wife beater. I don't agree with them putting your public record out there. I don't think that that's appropriate in any way, shape, or form. I could have put a lot of things out there, but I haven't.
I might not believe lies like you think about. Like, I believe that this is my whole thing, and it's been this way since Gypsy got out of prison. Okay. And then when I saw the hate happen, I'm like, oh my God, this poor girl is she's just starting her life over and she's getting all this hate. And that's why, you know what? I'm like, I'm going to try to advocate for her.
Understand
that
where
she
that
should be able to
came
live her
from?
life.
Do you
And
understand
that's
where
how-
that hate came from?
Say that again?
Do you understand where the hate from the public came from?
I mean, according to many things I have heard, it started when she said, "I do not identify as a murderer" on one of those shows.
Sure, that's part of it. And then she put out a post on her Facebook asking everyone to please, please, please deplatform me on every single one of my social media platforms because of the tyranny I have caused her family. Then she went on to tell people that you wouldn't say that to my face. I bet if you stood in front of my face, you wouldn't say that because it would be a whole different thing. Then her stepmother told every single person that is associated with them that has been attacking me to take me down by any means necessary. Then they tried to sue me. Then they tried to do all these other things. And on top of that, she runs around without thinking any thoughts in her head before she does anything. And the world has seen it now. That's where the hate comes from, Rogie. I'm not so... Bree wants to say that it's my fault. It's me who convinced everybody of this. Nope. I just told the truth of the things that I know that are truthful and shown the facts and evidence. What has happened is that Gypsy showed her own ass, just like I said she was going to, because her family did absolutely no things in the 8 years that they should have done to help her assimilate back into society. They did none of those things. And I was on Christy about it from the very beginning. It is one of the reasons why I feel so bad about it, because I do. I feel bad that not a single person in her life has ever given a shit about actually Gypsy Rose. Because you're right, a baby brought into this world did not deserve to be born into a crime family, but she was. And this is the way this crime family does. And they continue to do so. There is not a single person that gives a shit about her just because they give a shit about her. They want the money. And the more messy she looks, the better off for Miss Christie. And for Melissa Moore. And for Lifetime. Because it sells, just like Rod said.
I mean, I believe drama sells. I believe drama and gossip sells. And I believe that's why this is so big on this app.
Absolutely.
I believe that's why people's making so much money off of hating on Gypsy Rose, because it sells.
I would say that there's lots of people making way more money on loving Gypsy Rose and supporting Gypsy Rose than anyone out here. And I don't hate Gypsy. I feel sorry for Gypsy, to be honest with you, that she had to be brought into a family that all narcissistic sociopathic tendencies. People. They all are money driven. They are all criminals. They are all con artists. And Gypsy just did what she was taught to do by her mom and everyone else in that family, including Christy, Rod, the Petrie family, every single one of them. They've all been in trouble for these types of crimes. And if you want to look at it that way, then Dee Dee was just as abused as Gypsy was. So you can make excuses for Gypsy for unaliving a person, but we can't seem to understand why Dee Dee would teach her the ways that the family agrees that they make money. They call that abuse.
I mean, if you listen to Dr. Fabian's argument on Crime Weekly, he says
I don't take anything that Dr. Fabian says seriously.
Hold on, though. You might agree with this, because he said there's a very big possibility that Dee Dee suffered as a child from my child by proxy by her parent.
Didn't suffer from Munchausen by proxy. It is a con. They are con.
Yes, and Dee Dee grew up very poor, actually.
Dee Dee grew up with scraping by, well, and her mama doing what she had to do as well. And do I agree with it? Do I agree with bouncing checks? Do I agree with all of those things? No. Have I, as a young mother, when I was struggling and trying to put food on my
if you go
loaded
on
Facebook to a grocery store, absolutely.
I will find this receipt for you, Rogie. But if you go on Facebook, there's a woman who was friends with Dee Dee, knew Dee Dee. And people, this is like right after the crime happened, and they asked her something, I can't remember, and she said, look, poor people are going to do what they have to do to get by.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do you know that MJ Pack interviewed, now this is way back in 2015, before MJ Pack even talked to Gypsy Rose. Do you know she interviewed people that Gypsy told she wasn't sick? And they did nothing?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely. So what is MJ Pack's excuse for all this shit? Because MJ knows. And MJ knows it wasn't MVP. She knew from the very beginning. And Christy is who floated the MVP to her after making fun of her and talking about how she was avoiding MJ. So, yeah, MJ Pack is no more credible than Bree, in my opinion. I'm sorry. She's no more credible than Gypsy or Christy or the
But
Petrie family. She is
but you
all
have
caught up
to
in their drama because that's what makes MJ Pat feel important.
you
Despite
have
the
to
fact that they
agree.
have repeatedly drove a bus over MJ Pack.
You have to agree in 2015, like MJ Pack had a non-biased entered
He
this with a
was going with the
non-biased
right
opinion.
story until Christy went in there and changed the narrative. That's the thing. If you watch the 20-minute interview that Starlight put out of Sheriff Arnott when he first freaking came out and talked about it, the entire media that morning was all on fraud. They were all on fraud. And they even asked about other fraud cases that had been closed for Dee Dee and Gypsy. And instead, what Christy did was go to MJ Pack, who had a very large platform to do it on, and then promoted it in all the Facebook groups that MBP was the cause for all of this. Then she took that with Mike Stanfield and they ran with it to HBO. They illegally shared the discovery file with HBO, and I have that in writing from Patterson. He chose not to prosecute. And then on top of that, he unethically appeared in a documentary before the trial for Nicholas Godejohn had even started, much less was over. It's all been unethical from the very start. And if they had done any actual investigation, which they did not, then they would have uncovered all of these things. But instead, Gypsy took a plea deal and Christy and Mike weaponized the media to make sure that they got her that plea deal. And I don't know whether Patterson was strong-armed or crooked as the day is long. My opinion is on crooked as the day is long based on all the other news articles that were being published in 2015 talking about how crooked Patterson is and the types of cases that he was not looking to prosecute. But hey, I don't know because I wasn't there for that. But whatever happened, HBO and the media and Christy Blanchard and Mike Stanfield purposely set out to tell a false narrative, and they did so illegally.
Allegedly and for entertainment purposes only.
Exactly. But it's in Patterson's actual records that he said that her attorney and her stepmother and Gypsy herself gave to HBO the discovery documents, which they are not supposed to do because those discovery documents are only to be given and shared with the defendant to aid in their defense in a court of law, not in the public opinion of the media.
Real quick, Fancy.
So-
People keep saying that you're loud. You're not loud for me.
I'm not
So
loud.
Mike Stanfield,
She's not. People keep saying you're yelling, and you're
No,
not
I'm not
yelling.
yelling. Oh, I'm definitely not yelling.
me and Starlight was debating this a little while ago. Mike Stanfield did his job. A defense
No, he did
attorney
not do his job.
is
He
to
committed
sell.
a crime.
A defense attorney
It may
is to
just be her
sell
microphone,
stories, not
guys.
a prosecutor.
A crime. If he had done that, okay, here's the difference, Rogie. If he had taken that into Patterson's office and he and Patterson went to court and they decided to use that evidence showing that Gypsy was, medically child abused all these years and everything like that, that's him absolutely doing his job. But what he did was leak her discovery documents to a media source, and that is illegal. And I even have the actual statute that makes it illegal from Patterson telling me that it was Mike and Gypsy and Christy who broke the law. That's not defending your client properly. That's breaking the law. Mike Stanfield is just as much a criminal in all of this as anyone else.
So,
That's the
so if
difference.
this is true, Fancy, why was you can lose your bar, you can lose your bar license, and he
You
never
absolutely
lost his
can.
bar license and things like that.
Yep. And he should have. I asked Patterson myself, why did you not prosecute? And he could not give me an answer why. And I have shown the proof that this is what Patterson said. I have shown it over and over again. I did not know that they broke this law. Patterson, who's told me.
Guys, people need to chill out, please.
I'm not
Fancy,
reading it. Don't worry, Starlight.
I'm not attacking you
chat.
personally, okay? But you can agree that people write emails to themselves, right? We
You
can't
don't
both agree on
understand that
that.
it's a sign. It's from him at his actual fucking office. This is from him, and he is quoting exactly what law was broken. You can go look it up, Rogie. There's nothing to dispute there. They did give HBO her discovery file, or we wouldn't have Mommy Dead and Dearest, sir. Because there was no way for them to request a FOIA at that point in time because it was an open and active case. That's not a dispute, dude. I'm not disputing it. There's nothing to dispute. It's a law. They broke the law. That's the end of the story, dude.
I would ask why he wasn't. I want to know the same thing
right.
you.
I want to know why Patterson did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I also want to know why they didn't prosecute her for fraud. Because it's not in her
Maybe.
plea deal. I
Right.
think that Patterson did not do his job. I think that Mike Stanfield and
Okay,
Patterson
hold on a
both
minute.
deserve to have their law licenses pulled, as well as all of Nick's attorneys that had represented him in the first trial.
I thought people said it wasn't her plea deal.
What do you mean people said it wasn't her plea deal?
People said was making an argument charged with fraud because it was part of her plea deal.
No,
I heard
the
that in the
statute of
past.
limitations. No, the statutes of limitations ran out on the fraud while she was sitting in prison, and they did not include it. It is a 4-page document, and I've put it out many times. It does not even mention fraud in there at all. It is simply on murder 2. That is it. That is the only deal she cut. So again, why didn't Patterson go after her for that? Why didn't Medicaid? Why is all that? If you
Yeah,
guys think
I
that it's
know.
so bogus, all her medical conditions are so bogus, why did Medicaid not sue her?
I know Starlight's about to have to go for her children.
Yes.
A big question, and I've asked you this before, Fancy. When does this end? When does this end?
It ends when she stops telling lies along with her family and the media acknowledges the truth. That's when it ends. For me, I'm not
Yep,
involved.
I agree with that.
Wait a minute. I'm not
The
involved.
media
in
is going to go with the doctors, and the doctors are saying
are no
different things
doctors.
than you're
There are no
saying.
doctors.
Okay,
What doctors?
but here's the
doctors
thing.
that found
Here's for
prison
me.
confessions and
I
lies?
don't care if they. I don't care if they believe it or not. I think the other side should be out there.
As long as she's going to sit here and perpetuate lies along with Christy and her family and the media, I will continue to make sure that the truth is told. I don't participate in the drama with you guys. That's you all. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't make videos about you. I don't freaking go on lives and follow you around. I don't dox any of you. I don't make crazy
Like
edits
they're
about
doing
you
now.
guys. None
Ever
of that.
since Fancy got up here, this chat has been off the chain.
Yeah,
Like, I
That's
can't with you people. I have most of them blocked, and they're still in here.
No. Last night when Ryan and I were live in the middle of the night, Aubrey Strawberry made 4 different fake accounts to come in
Yeah.
and continue to harass us. And then
And like,
got my
I don't
live
mind
shut
if
down
people
for
want to
bullying
come in
harassment.
and have an opinion. That's fine. It doesn't. Everyone doesn't like everybody, but when you're just being downright rude and
Disgusting.
hateful, like just take it somewhere else. You're very.
Yeah.
You want to say everyone else is obsessed? No, you guys are obsessed. You
I'm
follow her everywhere. It's weird.
The reason why they do that is because they know they cannot dispute the facts and evidence that I have.
It's so odd to me though.
instead,
But for
they attack
why?
my
Because of
character and who I
Gypsy?
am as a
Like, is
person.
that because of Gypsy? Because I don't get it.
I don't either. Rogie, I have no problem talking with you. The only reason I block you is because I don't want to be associated with anything that goes on over there with the people you associate with. Otherwise, I don't have a problem with you. I do think that what you did, what was alleged that you did with Ivory was wrong. I still think that saying that you were going to take a pew-pew over there is still wrong. But I don't have a direct problem with you. And I would love to sit on a panel and talk with you because we've done it before. The reason that I get agitated and angry and lose my shit is because of the people in this chat that say the shit that they say that has nothing to do with the case and everything just to do with them personally attacking me as a person.
Exactly.
I can have a debate with someone I don't agree with. Absolutely. No problem. And you made a good point, Rogie, earlier. So, I mean, that's the thing. And I don't agree with the people doxing you and calling you a wife beater if you were not a wife beater.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I don't.
Right.
I don't agree with that at all. I also don't agree with people why do you think I'm not friends with certain people that were on my team anymore? Because I told them, I do not like what you're doing. I do not want you doing this. Do not defend me in rooms I'm not in. Don't take up
Y'all
a
can cut
cause.
me loose, guys.
Don't have these people on panel and debate them. If you have these people on panel and debate them, you are no longer welcome at my table because you're causing the drama to continue. I would much rather just be able to talk about the case than anything else. But your side doesn't do that because you don't know anything about the case. That's the
No.
problem.
I mean, I've watched hours and hours and hours of the
Have you
case.
looked
I
at
mean,
the actual evidence, Rogie?
But the thing is, we can stick to going back and forth about it. Like, no one's going to change my mind, I'll tell you that. I'm sure we're not going to change your mind, but we still debate over it. This happens all the time. Look at Darlie Routier. There are people that have been arguing about her for years. It happens, but it's the personal, the
Attacks.
doxing, the constant videos. Like, stop.
That's the problem.
About
That's the
Fancy
problem.
and about other people. It's being done to other people. If you associate with Fancy, you're on the chopping block.
Well, and
To be
now it's not even if you
doxxed.
associate
To
with
be
Fancy.
doxxed.
There's millions, there's tons of content creators that have nothing to do with me that are being doxxed and harassed and bullied
Yeah.
because they have a different narrative, because they've looked at facts and evidence, and you guys don't like facts and
I
evidence.
just don't understand
And
why
that's
it has to be taken there when we can just argue about
We can
the
just
dang
debate about a
case.
case. I don't even care. I don't care about Gypsy's love life. I don't care who
Right.
she's canoodling with. I don't
I
care
mean, it's
whose
funny
baby
to laugh
she has.
at.
I don't
It's
care
funny
about
to
any
laugh
of that.
at.
I don't give a shit about it. All I care about is, was this case prosecuted properly? Was this case what we think it is? And the answer is no. She was not medically child abused. She grew up in a crime family and they taught her how to be a criminal. Period. The end. That's it.
I mean, Dee Dee taught her how to. I mean, you could
No,
argue.
do not lay it all on Dee Dee. You cannot lay this all on Dee Dee. That
Dee Dee was her
entire
main.
family.
Dee
Dee was her
Dee raised
main.
a good con artist.
Dee Dee raised her child, and Rod was involved. There are pictures. Can you get me? I think about this, baby.
Oh, I thought you already had.
No, I don't have any. So Dee Dee didn't raise Gypsy all by herself. Rod was involved. Christy was involved. We see the pictures of that. Her entire Petrie family was involved until she was 15 years old and left Missouri and left Louisiana and went to Missouri. So you cannot say that Dee Dee is the only person who is to blame for any of this. And Dee Dee did what her family taught her and what the family taught Emma ahead of Dee Dee. And this is what this family does. And if you look on the Blanchard side, it's the same thing. In fact, I have text message after text message after text message of Christy talking to me about this one was arrested at this day and this one's going through withdrawals and she beat up this person. This is a crime family and they taught their child to be a criminal, which is exactly what she's going to continue to teach her child if she continues on the trajectory that she is on today. The cycle will not be broken. And that is not necessarily abuse. It is what this family does. So if you want to say it's abusive, then you have to label every crime family ever abusive to their children. 100%.
Still doesn't mean she should have been murdered.
Still does
All
not
right, I
mean
gotta
she should
end
be
this.
murdered.
I think
I gotta
Uncle
end it.
Rogie's baby. I think Uncle Rogie's baby is going to be okay. Okay.
I don't, but that's
Oh my
okay.
God.
I pray for that baby every day.
Uncle Rogie, but you say you never talked to her, but you're calling yourself Uncle Rogie.
Yeah.
You've never spoken or know Gypsy at all.
Right, but they don't
or
have a, they don't have
Rod
a
or
relationship.
Chrissy,
Yep.
but you're Uncle Rogie.
But you're Uncle Rogie. So there
That's
you go.
right.
Wow.
That's
I'm everybody.
interesting.
I call everybody's baby my uncle in the bayou. I call everybody's baby. I'm like, oh, come see no.
Rogie, that's a sad excuse for what you're doing. That's a sad excuse. Don't go down that road. You're better than that, dude. I'm serious. You're better than this, Rogie. I see an intelligence in you. I don't think that you're completely just an idiot like other people see people in your group. Okay, there are people in your groups that I could not even have a normal conversation with because they can't even form proper sentences. Okay, you're not one of those. I truly believe that if you sat down and put everything aside and you actually looked at facts and evidence with no one telling you exactly what you're supposed to think or feel, could change your mind. I also think that I've changed minds of people by showing facts and evidence. And you know why I know
You
that?
have.
Because people have told
And
me.
that's why they're so threatened by you. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And I want to know what I still haven't figured out what they're so scared of. But I know there's something that they're very scared of that I
The
haven't.
truth.
I haven't figured out what it is yet. And I think cancer might be the part of that. Allegedly, in my opinion, for an entertainment and educational purpose. I'm like, all right, Starlight, I'll let you go get your
All right, I got to end this.
kiddo.
I gotta-
Thank you. And
All
Roby,
right,
thank you.
Starlight. I don't know how this
All right,
happened.
thank
but-
y'all for having a decent discussion, Rogi and
All right, Starlight.
Fancy.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming up here. I
see
think
y'all later.
it was good. You know, and I just, if I had any like closing arguments, statements, it would be, if Roby, if you could maybe talk to your buddies about the doxing, because I really think that has gone way too far.
Yes.
And just stick to words on the internet.
Debate the
Quit
people.
going for people's
Not the
real
people.
lives. Yeah. Just stop.
Look, I try to get everybody to play nice. I really do.
Yeah, I think you.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to not be nice and tell people when they're stepping over the line and taking things way too far. I told you the person I'm referring to in particular. I think that
All right,
person
Ratchet.
really needs to get a hold of
I'll
herself
fix
because
it.
she's a little
You're ready.
unhinged.
You can close them.
All right, I'm going to
I'm
close
popping
this
off.
out.
Bye, y'all. Thank you for having me on.
Bye, Fancy.
Later.